Okay, the live streams should be starting up soon. Please give a moment to make sure everything is set on up. Okay, YouTube thumbnail up to date. Looks like Twitter is going. Rumble's going. Oh, just as a guy, second, another follower. Which is going. And Rumble is going as well. Perfect. Let me just check my other computer. And looks like my other computer's good to go as well. While this is downloading, just need to turn on a light. There we go. I think I'm ready for the rest of the day. Well, let's go ahead and start with our first game, Abbasid Dynasty versus Mongols. Greetings everyone, and great here. Another Dawn of Age of Empires 4 replay. Small on top left side as the Pink Abbasid Dynasty, where Valdemar is 1902. And notice as well, he went ahead and got his villagers inside the town center and to the far side to get them more quickly over there. On the right side as the Blue Mongols, we have a foreign name. Immediately going for the Ovo is collecting a bit of early wood there. Not the best tree to collect from since it's not close to town center. We'll go ahead and quickly gather it up. I'd like to go for our early pasture, or maybe for our early stable. Maybe a spearman rush. Each tree does contain 150 wood, which is the same amount for our barracks, and for our pasture, and for our dock, and for our stable. A little bit more than a Greer, but also for an Ovo. And let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit. Abbasid Dynasty, known for having camels, as well as the Gilam man-at-arms variant. The Mongols, of course, had the Magadai and Keshiks. Magadai are most time pretty worthless, so likely we may see some Keshik play early on. There's also potential for a Spearman Rush. Seems like Mongols go for Spearman Rushes pretty often. Do not have this Khan advancing forward, trying to get some damage on these villagers. He does spot the gold deposits being collected there, and Abbasid Dynasty player is going for the military wing now, and that will be completed. They cannot be interrupted. It's not like it's going to torch down 2,000 damage to the House of Wisdom immediately. So I suppose that's technically possible. Maybe not with 2 spearmen the next minute and 15 seconds. He will spot, if he pays close enough attention, he will see the military wing going on up. That's the only one that I really have to be concerned about being employed out nice and early. You can tell by a little target dummy there, as well as it being built on this side as well. Get some good arrow fire on those spearmen. Both put them down half health. When he gets the next age, he will of course get 2 free spearmen and a pair of archers, which will be more than plenty to deal with these spearmen. We got an outpost going up here, being protected by a spearman. It looks designed for a bit of aggression, trying to lock down this tree line. And he will have to go way over here as well. Look at this. This is basically a Bruce player's dream of tree placement. Put high trade house there, and you probably get nearly 300 gold per minute. Spearman advance forward. He's going to bring in a lot of villagers to torch down this outpost. He needs to make sure to focus on these villagers individually so he can get some more damage there. Good peels off there. And now going to be immediately retrying for this outpost. Pulls off a lot of villagers there. Got a good amount of damage on these villagers as well. These 2 spearmen still trying to torch it down. He may want to pull these back and rotate around over here. The military wing is now completed. The small military force does take a moment to spawn out. And does get some good damage there onto the spearman, taking one out, severely wounding the other. And decides to cancel this outpost and may want to fall back to the spearman now. Mongol player has not started his landmark just yet. He has plenty of gold at the moment, need a bit more food. He has currently 10 villagers on the sheep, and we'll go ahead and peel off half of them. Silver trees going up, a powerful trade landmark. Though, if you look here, these trees are in a little bit bad location. It will deny a good path over here. He's going to probably have to place a silver tree more right here to get more of a straighter path. If you pull it right there, it's going to be have a bit of a detour to get over here. So if he were to start harvesting right there, that's actually a good spot for a tree line to be collected up there. Khan's now seeing a bit of arrow fire there. Of course, the Khan may have not spotted the market just yet because of his early aggression. Spearman and archers advance forward, trying to harass this gold line. He does pull back off the gold line now. He does have 334 gold collected. Keshiks are 80. There's just a speed arrow there. Golden Age Tier 1 now active there, trying to torch down. He is trying to deny this stone deposit, which he is. Horseman, while fighting unupgraded spearmen, will still probably receive a lot of damage from the spearmen. Where do those military units go? He sews them out on the field. Ah, there they are. Being chased by Exotic Doggo. He's now trying to secure the stone deposit. Maybe one reason why he put the outpost there, not necessarily to harass the wood line as I was focusing on the villagers, but forgot about the stone outcropping there as well. So the stone outcropping there he could have always tried to collect from instead. The spearmen are still not upgraded himself. Going for more and more horsemen. We got some horsemen now pushing forward. He does have a barracks here. Going for an outpost now. And the outpost will take a bit of time to be deployed out. You got now the hardened spearman research there. Horsemen will charge forward. They don't damage. Not as great versus villagers. Now got a pair of Keshiks out of the field, and he does spot the trader there, which is very important. The trader he's actually starting to trade right there. He's not going to go for max distance ammo. He's going to get what traders he can. He does get a horseman, or not horseman, villager killed off, getting some great damage there. And he does get another villager killed off there as well. Now the civilian count is even since he is starting to use traders. Does get a charge attack there, taking out that horseman. He's down to one horseman. He's not doing anymore. Upon seeing these Keshiks, he may want to go for mass, spearmen. He has these two spearmen too. Does get a good charge attack there. He may want to actually focus on the spearmen first, not the archers, because the spearmen actually pose a bigger threat to his important units. These spearmen, they're not important, the Keshiks are. We don't see out a barracks either, so taking those spearmen is much more important than the archers, in my opinion. Trying to go for our town center here. More traders being pulled out of the field, and now it's going to take time to reposition the silver tree. He has 13 villagers there. Does not have a pasture. Oh, there's a pasture now. A pasture next to Ovo can support the 4 villagers in food production. At least 4 unupgraded villagers, I should say. Now these guys going. Nope, they don't try to torch down the mining camp there. Silver trees are now being redeployed. Do you have barracks being deployed on the field? You got 4 Keshiks on the field. That may be a pair of archers. It is a pair of archers. Exotic Doggo getting some bites there. Keshik's going to be very effective versus horsemen, that's for sure. Or Keshik's. Going to be very effective versus horsemen. Did I say that? I'm going a little bit crazy. We got more horsemen being plotted on field, which is not generally a good idea unless he's able to maintain his distance from these Keshiks. Fresh foodstuffs not complete. It's now going for the hardened spearman research. Very nice. Keshiks will find a double charge attack there, getting some great damage from these horsemen. These horsemen are trying to hit these villagers. He's getting arrow slits now, getting some good damage from these horsemen. single spearman on defense. He may want to keep just a couple around this gold deposit for the time being, since he keeps on trying to harass it. And if he keeps that secured up with some spearmen, then he's able to push forward with his Keshiks a bit more aggressively. Looks like we do have currently 3 spearmen for pink at the moment. Not killing off those 2 original spearmen, I would say, is still a bit of an issue. And now it's going to get more and more spearmen. Spearmen work better in mass numbers. They do poor in small numbers. They're also cheap enough to be made in large numbers. Does get the town center garrison a little bit there. Does fall back. If he finds a lone structure, say that mining camp around the stone deposit, he can get some good health regen. Some fall back right there. And now I do have some research being deployed off here. We've got the double broad axe as well as the iron undermesh. Very important when you're trying to dive villagers around town centers. It will make it so this town center arrows will do from 3 damage to 2 damage, reducing your damage received by 50%. Which is very important when you're trying to pick off those individual villagers. It's best not you lose your Keshiks to the town center arrows. We've got economic research being researched by the Abbasid Dynasty player. Right now, military force is 21 to 20. And overall, there's definitely higher quality on the Mongol side with the Keshiks, and has a good number of archers on the field as well. Wants some archers now to support out his Keshiks, and he does use a speed arrow right there, giving a bit of a speed bonus there. Keshiks does get some spearmen hit these horsemen. Archers starting to get overran. It's not looking good for Blue's archers. Does find a good engagement there, but now some of these horsemen are going down. Spearmen trying to push them forward, but there looks like hitting Blue's spearmen instead, not the Keshiks. Very important. Pink's scout was about to go down there. Nice vision reduced. Overall, the Mongol player did lose quite a bit of force there, but so did the Abbasid Dynasty player. Still has 4 archers in reserve. Horseman trying to advance on forward. The Khan did go down. So right now his vision radius is very small, and he's misrouted some of these traders. Yep, he must his macro. Yep, it's the same. I do the exact same thing. I use macros myself, and well, the macros popped up when you're trying to make a move order. Takes off the exotic doggo there. We do not have boot camp completed. Horsemen now moving around. They're going to try to hit the silver tree. He's trying to get these traders, and there's 4 of them right there. Make that 5 now. This is going to be a really big hit. He needs to station some spearmen now in this region, since his opponent now knows about it. Blowing out a handful of spearmen in this area can really be useful in defense. They'll keep your opponent to run around along the line, and your Keshiks can chase them down. Especially if you have your outposts up, it can help you pursue those forces that's trying to go up and down the line. Got a mill going up here, as well as an outpost. Outpost primarily for spotting, as well as trying to keep those villagers safe. You now have hack damage research by the Mongol player. Trying to get an outpost here, as well as another Greer. Right now there's 20 military units for the Mongol player. Khan's not been redeployed just yet. He has a handful of spearmen. He may want to go for a relatively even mix of archers and spearmen. He needs at least more spearmen overall. Do not have a camel archer in the field. They do bonus damage for spearmen, as well as calls the camel an ease debuff. Never raid as the camel archer there. At the sizable force now advancing forward. There's a couple of defensive spearmen here. It looks like they're on patrol move. They could find some of these horsemen. Blue's archers has getting good engagement there. Keshik's now engaging, receiving a lot of damage from these spearmen. Archers are hitting these spearmen. Trying to overrun the Mongols' archers there with this horseman. The large number of these Keshiks are severely wounded, but as long as they stay alive, they get a good amount of health return. Pink's archers are hitting Keshiks. And it looks like Pink's front line's overall disintegrating. Now his Keshiks can overrun the rest of these forces. Pulls back even to some of these wounded Keshiks there. The last spearman does go down. He can pursue the rest of these archers now. The Mongol does use his arrow, so can't use the speed arrow to help pursue these fours. Got a couple of Keshiks not hitting these villagers as well. Very nice. Thinks he has the armor, the PS armor research. He can withstand a lot more arrow fire. Now the rest of his army is going to pursue back all to death. The camel archer just needs to abandon this force and leave the archers behind. There he goes. A little bit too late though. Camels are not the fastest unit. They got the charge attack there. Gets some great charge damage. Now the last 1 health of camel does go down there. Keshiks got quite a bit of health regen thanks to that. These Keshiks are sort of been forgotten about. Does kill them off. Don't have arrow slit research. That really does help out in defending against these Keshiks. These Keshiks push way forward, but there's too many spearmen in this area from the advance. Keshiks and the colonies just fall back. They can take a couple hits there from those horsemen. They have good armor. They have their hack armor research, as well as the hack damage, and even pierce damage as well. He's gotten all of them. And could find some villager kills there. No, he does not. Right here, this horseman does use a speed arrow there, I believe. He needs to fall back. A lot of these Keshiks are quite wounded. They need to try to find, say, these lone outposts to get some health recuperated. Does do a charge attack there. And now going to be falling back. Good charge attack there. Falling back. These Keshiks are far too wounded to really stand and fight. He does not have any spearmen reaching. He has no spearmen deployed on the field. He has a good number of archers here. This force is starting to get split up. Now he's going to counterattack and engage these horsemen there. Does get a spear brace onto them, as well as some charge damage. Now he's trying to pursue this force there. Some spear braces there, some charges there. Now the Keshiks are not in good engagement, and they have very little health there. Blue's archers now engaging away, gain some big damage to those spearmen. Archers being pursued. Keshiks is quite wounded. He does have, of course, the Yam network here to improve the movement speed of these Keshiks. Now archers are falling back. These villagers need to get inside the tower there. Not enough room for all of them. And we'll say that villager there, the arrow fire is coming forward. And since he split up those horses and hit those villagers, he calls them to lose all those horsemen, split up the army. And now the archers are picking up these spearmen. So overall, that was a poor end of the engagement there for Pink. He got greedy, he saw the villagers try to pursue them, and it backfired big time. Right now, Blue has a larger force in the field, 30 versus 23. Nowhere near Castle Age. Nowhere near Castle Age. We got more arrows being pulled out on the field. He does have another oboe over here. He may want to get eye for some. Yeah, he's starting to go for some outposts here. 2 outposts here. He's going to try to put a lot of villagers to collect with these berries. Villagers try to advance forward. Pops trying to do a tower harassment on the trade line. But Blue needs to start eyeing deploying out some more towers of this region. This gold is providing the Mongol player an immense amount of gold, as well as a bit of extra other resources. He should have at least 15 traders on the field. 28, yeah, that's at least 15. Now, I do have a phalanx being researched. That will, of course, give extra range for Pink Spearmen. Over here. I get some good damage over here. Keshik's trying to back on off. Does get a small charge attack there. Doesn't pick off any villagers. He does not have textiles, which I say is a bit of oversight since he is fighting against Mongols. Got these Keshiks pushing before. They do escape out of there before being pinned in the corner by those spearmen. And all these Keshiks do go down. Blue may want to cool off for a moment, but he's doing a good job of hitting multiple areas one. No arrow slits here, so it's need a bit more number of Keshiks because there's 2 towers firing arrows. No arrow slits in either of them. Got these forces advancing forward. Big spear brace there, but got good number of archers in the region. I don't think he has blitzing arrows yet, so he doesn't get improved 12 seconds of arrows. He's going for the faster movement speed, superior mobility. And he will abandon this tower there, get some repairs. Now trying to hit some of these villagers, but he will be taken out. Doesn't get any of those villagers there. Those large number of them are quite wounded. Keshiks getting some much needed healing there. If you don't know what to do, if your Keshiks are too idle, you can always attack your opponent's walls. Not necessarily just to destroy them, but just simply to get a bit of health back. It does add up. We got these Keshiks pushing on forward, trying to find another engagement. We got a massive patrol move? Nope. Got his Keshiks trying to harass this area as well. He could just abandon the rest of these berries. There are 9 villagers there. They also probably want to get inside the towers. Does get inside the tower there, and now we've got the Cruel Tide now being used for the Mongol player. It's good torch damage there. Trying to pull out some walls there. Keshiks trying to charge forward. We'll find some charge attacks there on some of these villagers. Now there's a large number of these villagers now very exposed here. Spear not coming to advance. Some of these villagers have gone down. Blue's killed 14 villagers. Pink's only killed 5. And now got the Castaway for the Mongol player. He knows we need to go for the Vet and Keshik research immediately. Spearman taking a really good engagement on these Keshiks. Does get a good number of kills on villagers, however. Over here, I was not paying attention. We've got these archers main force. We'll go vet and archer research for these archers, as well as going for the vet and Keshik research now. These archers are starting to get overran. The Keshiks are being chased. What's left of them? These ones have taken out those villagers there. Got the Yam network being researched now. You can always go for the improved Yam network as well. Got some town center arrows as well. This is the primary town center, so it does have the extra arrow, the extra more powerful arrow. The experiment will be cleaned on up. Pink has a larger army in the field, 40 versus 19. The Curl Tie needs to get back on over here and use his defensive position. The extra health from the defense position would help out as well. He's getting some good torch damage onto the tower there, who actually is the one being researched from the Yam network. Finds attack there. Curl Tie trying to set up this region with the outposts here with the Yam network research. There should be a great amount of mobility in this region, as well as the outpost provides some good spotting. The Curl Tide will get some much needed health regen on these forces. He may want to pull it back and regroup. Right now he does not have the greatest military force, but sometimes pretty hard to tell that. We got a line of towers being fought out everywhere. Got a good spear brace there. He does have a good number of Keshiks here to engage these force. He does not have enough money, nowhere near enough to go to the next age. At this point in time, more archers would be good. Mangonels could be a good possibility as well. He can, of course, get some improved siege engineers. He can deploy them on the field with his archers. The Curl Tide now advancing forward with his force. Where is the Khan's down? Now the tower over here. Trying to quickly try and torch it down. The Curl Tide's advancing forward towards the wall. Putting it right there could be a good spot for it. Keshik's getting some good health regen there. We'll get a bit of straight bounty there, raid bounty. He does not have any of these others research right there. He's starting to engage. Archer's trying to engage as well. Of course, we got quality over quantity. And some great health regen there, and the extra damage from these archers will give them improve their bonus damage as well, doing 21 damage per strike. Of course, we got Boot Camp over here to improve the health by 14. The probably large to negate each other out. Outposts trying to go on up. We're trying to hold the line. The military force is quite even still. Archers are getting some great damage there. They are like doing just slightly less enough damage to pick them off and one less arrow volley. Outposts are to go on up. You will need to get those villages immediately on the inside. But it looks like the archers will kill off all these spear in time now. Got some good spotting here. They take a bit of time to take out the Curl Tie. He's going for forward siege workshop. Battering rams or Mangonels right here would be both good. Probably Mangonels would be generally better. Remember, Mangonels do decent versus structures, so you don't need the sole anti-structure damage of the battering rams. You can go for Mangonels to hit everything. Horsemen have to charge forward. Now it won't be a great engagement with horsemen. These veteran archers do have 11 damage near the Curl Tie, so they will do actual serious damage to the horsemen. Additionally, the Kurultai can improve the damage output of siege weapons as well, including the Mangonel. He is going for the Mangonel. Right now, maybe a good time to try to go for the raid bounty research. Push me forward. Man at Arms can pose a massive threat to Pink right now. He has no reasonable counter to Castaway's Man at Arms. They have good armor, and he has no direct counter. In fact, he has no real soft counter to them either, other than the Camel Archer, which is something he is probably a little bit too expensive at this moment in time. Does use the arrow right there. First Mangonel not put on the field. Since he does not have improved for the raid bounties, he will only get 50 resources per set of blades of these structures, but arms that don't have much durability, easy to raid down. Do not have the improved whistling arrow there, improving the effect of the arrows from 5 seconds to a staggering 12 seconds. Though he just recently used it, so it'll be a bit time before it's off cooldown. We got some spring ball in place of going up. He's going for some forward barracks, going for some forward man arms would be very, very good. And there's only 2 structures here now, or 2 landmarks here you have to destroy, and that's only what, 1,200 health at the moment. So the primary towns that has a little extra health, so that's 1,400 health, 14,000 health. Traction Trebuchet could be very useful. Batterings could be very useful. Traction Trebuchet probably can be within the radius of the Kurultai quite easily, so a Traction Trebuchet or 2 wouldn't hurt. Going for more Mangonels, which also doesn't hurt. And it will hurt his opponent a lot. And Pink, he's almost at the next age. It'll take a bit of time to get it researched. Going for a massive line of outposts here, including mostly just arrows. So like it's going to be cheap. Does get raid bounty there. A little bit late for that. Good hit there on these spearmen. Does use the arrow there, which that means 12 seconds of arrows. Extra arrows, which is significant. Mangonel getting overran. Get the arrow still activated. And now the arrow has dissipated there. These arrows just provide a massive amount of damage fire output because that. Kurultai is not repacking them up. Has good number, and there we go. Pink does surrender now. This is Anagrade saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Let's see if there's any more replays. Let's see. Let's just start from the bottom. That's from last week. These ones I may have touched. Yeah, 23rd would be last Sunday, so I'm probably already approved those. So let's look at a few of the 25th. That actually may have been the last replay I could get from him. So let's go on to another player now. That name's probably too common. Let's go with this name. Oh, this is level 1. Must be the other one. And these are all from the previous patch. Let's see, let's look at this 2v2. Nope, not long enough. Let's see, let me double check, make sure. Is that 24th? That is the Monday, so it wasn't. Let's go and do it. I hope I didn't already do this one. Because one of these days I did make Monday as another day for casting. I just can't remember which day that was. Just one moment, I just want to double check something. Let's see, no, that was this last week, and I did not take Monday off that week, so yeah. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Age of Empires 4 replay. Spawn on the top side as the Blue French, we have Smooth Operator. Spawn on the bottom left side as the Cyan Chinese, we have Cracky here. So me going for a bit of wood there. Now it's going to be collecting up those sheep up here. We do have, looks like we're just collecting sheep and not collecting a bit of gold as well there. Let's see, French versus Chinese. Chinese, of course, have access to Zinchnoon Feudal Age versus the Royal Knight. The common French composition is Archer Royal Knight. So going for a Spearman and Zinchnu will likely be a good combination, if not Spearman and Horseman. Horseman to overrun those archers. And then just have Spearman to chase the cavalry to the ends of the earth. Which is right around here. Or here. School of Cavalry now being plotted in the field. Imperial Academy as well. We're going to collect up these sheep. And the first Royal Knight is on the build queue. Imperial Academy is halfway complete. We probably will need to see out barracks relatively soon. He knows he's fighting against the French. The chance of him fighting against Royal Knights is incredibly likely. But right now he has not pulled out barracks yet. Which I am a little bit concerned about that because he's fighting against the French. You know you're going to be fighting against Royal Knights. And you already know what when he got his feudal age before you, so chance of you finding a Royal Knight on your doorstep is very soon. And when I say very soon, I mean right about now. We got a line of palisade walls over here. The Blue Scout, that's another Royal Knight, is somewhere. That's Science Scout. Granted, the Chinese town center does have access to hand cannoneer slit, which is much more effective versus the French Royal Knights and regular arrows. We got now the Vatican of the Sun, the Barbican, however you pronounce the damn thing, of the Sun being put on the field, trying to keep this area secure. Trying to charge on forward. These villagers need to get back out of there. Scout does eat both those hits. Very, very good. Good scout placement there. Now it's going to try to get some regular sword hits there. Scout now seeing quite a bit of damage right there and does take out the scout. You can't really build that. There's still these Royal Knights in the region and does pick up that one. He really should just cool off trying to build the Vatican of the Sun. He's probably not going to try to torch it down, so you can leave it alone for a bit. We got another Royal Knight here. Still no barracks on the field. He is blowing off the other side over here. Very nice with a lot of villagers. Does have enough wood for a barracks. There's the barracks finally. But he's going to be being hit by multiple Royal Knights. One villager so far killed. 5th Royal Knight on the build queue. And none of these Royal Knights are actually quite wounded. He needs to go for chivalry a little bit early. Just so he gets some good health regen. In fact, maybe pull back those severely wounded ones. So you can keep them stored away when you get your chivalry to get them some good health regen. Vatican of the Sun trying to be put on field. Does get a good stab there. Does not follow up. He does get early textiles. Very, very good. And now here comes a Spearman. Only one Spearman that can be easily overwhelmed. Good hand cannon slits it onto these Royal Knights. There's currently 5 on the field, 6 on the way. And the French players are going to take an opportunity to fish all these fishies. Vatican of the Sun is almost complete, which helped him secure up this region. He also has his access to this backline wood line, while these 2 front ones are being collected up first. Got a tiny wood deer deposit here, some forest puppers. And we've got these fishies now being collected up by 6 villagers. He could throw some more mills up here. He does have great feudal control at the moment. Now, I do have chivalry being researched. Very nice. It's a good idea to go for that sooner rather than later in this current situation, because a lot of these knights are severely wounded. And once this gets complete, it will pay for itself. And very quickly. We do have a second stable now on field. More housing. Very nice. Let's see, there's about 4 Royal Knights. I would say about 2 Royal Knights worth of health that needs to be regenerated. That will basically be 240 times 2. So yeah, this getting all these guys healed up back to max health would pay for that upgrade in the amount of cost of the Royal Knights. He's trying to replace that burning fence there with a palisade wall. He will succeed. More villagers being brought on the front line to collect up these fishies. Going for another mill here as well.
Paratus et promptus.
The sheep have been almost completely collected. Sign does go for more walls over here, and just only this area has an opening. He's trying to create another opening there. That's a good number of spearmen here to keep these Royal Knights back. At this point in time, the French player needs to start eyeing for some additional archers, but right now he's just going for mass Royal Knight, which can overwhelm these spearmen, but of course does need to get these guys much needed healing. Additionally, if he's going to try to overwhelm the spearmen as well, he needs to make sure he doesn't charge in, but doesn't move order forward. It may be a good idea to go for the line formation as well. The wider formation could allow him to get the encircle quicker. Now we do have an archer range now being put on the field. Very nice. Let's see. Neither player looks going to be eyeing for a second town center anytime soon. Let's take out one of the spearmen there. Try and torch down some more of these walls there. The scout is in this region, so it does spot these spearmen. Royal Knight advancing over here. And does get a great spear brace there. Now some of these Royal Knights are starting to go down. Spearmen. It's hard to say who's winning. We got 8 spearmen left versus the 9 Royal Knights. Sign will lose. Needs to hit that wounded one. Does take out that wounded one there. Taking out individual Royal Knights, preventing them from escaping. If he gets that one, no, he does not get that one. He does lose about half of his Royal Knights, which is probably still, even though the Chinese player lost the fight, the French lost more, I believe. The Chinese player hasn't really been producing as many villagers, or not villagers, spearmen, and compared to his opponents building Royal Knights. He needs to continue building them. He's starting to go for the next age. The astronomical clock tower is pretty standard, and maybe actually go for the other one, Imperial. What's it called? The Imperial. Not Imperial Academy, but the Imperial something, because he may need the improved spotting range at this moment in time, as opposed to having access to the siege works. We got a good number of fishies being collected out here. He is going to go to an outpost just in case. Let's see, how many villagers here? 15, a significant number of villagers. I do now have Castle Age. He needs to get out the veteran spearman research, as well as just more spearmen. He's deploying out some lancers. I know it's the astronomical clock tower. I'm referring to the other landmark, the one that gives access to the base as a lighthouse. I can't remember that one. Not Imperial Academy, Imperial Palace? I think it was called Imperial Palace, yeah. I think that landmark would be better than astronomical clock tower at this moment, because I think the spotting range would be much more useful. He's fighting against Royal Knights, and the improved siege weapons are not going to be useful in this current situation. Royal Knights advancing forward, trying to engage the scout. And starting to torch down the palisade wall now. He's going to need to send a couple villagers there to get it repaired up. I think that's what I'm trying to do right now. Save quite a bit of damage. Or just trying to build another line of palisade walls. He does have it completely ghosted. It'll take a bit of time to get it built. He's trying to focus on some of the wounded ones, or not fully built ones. He does go ahead and get that built. This one, Royal Knight will escape on forward, but we'll receive a couple hand-to-hand slits there. We'll receive a bit of damage. He's just trying to go for lancers and engage the Royal Knights head on. Does have a good number of archers here. I still believe he should supplement his force with some spearmen. Those right now doesn't have the highest food income. Does push him forward, trying to get damage. Does spot a crossbow. Crossbow's gonna be useful as well. And it's very choky. The Lancer should be able to hold the line quite well. Scout even pulled out his sword. And a scout does go down. Let's get some damage there. We got the Royal Knights now moving down south. There's nothing significant there other than this gold deposit. Currently we have 7, soon to be 8 Lancers with 17 Royal Knights. And he's not advanced to the next stage yet, nor is he close to the moment. Going to some veteran or hardened spearman research. I won't say veteran, but yet he does not have that age yet. He's going for a number of spearmen here. He's going to try to secure up the central fish. It's a lot of fish that the French players need to collect. Lancers and Royal Knights now engaging. Good crossbow hits there. Crossbows are going to be focused down one time. Does have to evacuate the crossbow into the house there. Villagers do escape into the village as well. I don't think any villagers went down. I think only the Royal Knights have gone down so far. Now they're going to try to run away. Let's get inside the Vatican of the Sun. And that was not a great engagement there by the French player. Now the Chinese player is in great position. He has a smaller army, but a higher quality army, especially one that can engage this one a bit more reasonably. Spearman now makes forward. We'll get some damage there on these Lancers. These Spearmen will do some good damage there. Spearmen, I'm not sure why they're falling back. Crossbows need to get here, up here, and start getting some fire support. Does get a good hit there onto some of these Royal Knights. Spearmen do get some spear braces there. Some of these Lancers are trying to go down to these Spearmen. Archers now mixing on in, trying to get some good hits on these crossbows. Overall, not a great engagement there. A large number of these Royal Knights have gone down. Just one remaining. One on the map, one on the build queue. Crossbows see a bit of fire there. Hand cannoneer slip does get some damage there. Does charge attack in there. And the Royal Knight does eat a lot of that damage, which is actually good for the rest of that force, taking a lot less damage there. Palace Guards will be a good item. Palace Guard mixed in with maybe some archers wouldn't hurt. And at this point in time, more crossbows not going to be useful. He's going for some Zunchus. That would be a good item for these spearmen and archers. Though mixing in regular archers would not hurt as well. They do have a little bit extra range. Oop, these villagers trying to get away. Lancers, Palace Guards, crossbows trying to defend these villagers. Does save the villagers. The Lancers will go down. Palace Guards trying to fall back with them. Crossbows receiving a bit of hits there by the archers. Let's get inside the town center as well. And now he is in the middle of everything, which he's going to get ripped apart by the various defenses around. There's a palisade walls there, so he's right now backed himself into a corner. Though Science can't really flush him out yet. Looks like there's still some garrison inside the village there. I do have the veteran Zunchnu research. He could take a swipe at these villagers, but Giant just to run away. Knights is charging forward, does get some charge attacks there. Crossbows engaging, no Zunchus in this mix just yet. And so we got the town center fire coming in. Does get a charge attack there, does get a villager, does get inside the village there. The rest of these archers will be cleaned up by these Lancers and Palace Guards. Now I do have a Clock Tower Nest of Bees, which will going to be useful against his opponent's more infantry-based composition. He's now getting out some more Royal Knights, has some archers, a couple spearmen. So overall, Palace Guards will still be good, so I think a mix of Palace Guard, Spearmen, and throw some Zunchus in would be half bad. Right now, if he upgrades a Zunchnu with a lot of damage, they will actually do some significant damage even versus those Royal Knights. Blue has too much gold. Let's see, what is he? Yep, he has too much gold being collected at the moment. He just only needs 600 age up, as well as to invest in some units, but that's far too much at the moment. I think, yeah, he just used the market, bought a lot of food, now going for the Royal Institute. Got this force advancing forward. Does find the volley there. Gets good damage there. But I think Science Force will get overran. Got some more crossbows and Palace Guards advancing forward. Clock Tower SB receiving a bit of fire, but nothing to really hard counter it. Another Clock Tower SB is firing away. Gets a good volley there onto the Royal Knight. Zunchnu is firing away. Does have 6 damage most, so do 3 damage each per arrow against these Royal Knights. Finds good volley there, taking out those spearmen. These
Espero tu mandemen.
Doesn't focus on the wounded one just yet. Next, Nessa Bees does got that higher health one. The wounded one does escape on out there. Crossbow hitting some of these villagers. No textiles just yet. Royal Knight charging forward. Does get taken out by the Nessa Bees. And the other Royal Knight does take up a crossbow. Sign has a very small force in the field, getting out more archers, palace guards, and lancers. Both sides have had no additional townsmen just yet, but Blues have been doing a great job of maximizing economy by picking up all these fishies. He does have the first level of economic research, food, wood, and gold, while his opponent only has food. He also has wheelbarrow, while his opponent doesn't. We got hack damage ×2 for the French player. I think he just... Wait, how do you get that so quickly? Because just got Feudal Age, or in Castle Age, how did he get the hack damage level 2 so quickly? Maybe it's just a bug in the replay.
他应该会比我更强。
移动，同志们移动！
Retrayez vos amouets. Quand je commande, avant.
We got one crossbow, one Zinchnu, 2 palace guards, 2 royal knights. A lot of infrastructure here. Not a lot of fish remain. Just these 4 deposit fish, which could be collected up somewhat safely. Sign's not going for a wheelbarrow. And now got the mill now seems to fire. You're trying to mill that fish he collected into some fish oil pills to supplements. We got a handful of lancers that may be trying to eye for a bit of harassment. Okay, that little cyan dot I see there, there's just a little bit of water there, swamp water, so I got confused by that. But we do got a line of palisade walls all across the back line for the French player. I got these Royal Knights trying to make another breach. Still does not have... Oh, now he's getting a couple of spearmen, or at least a spearman. Got a good number of crossbows out, as well as palace guards. He needs to start protecting this palisade gate. Going for the veteran spearman research now. Collecting up these berries along the flank. There's a good amount of berries in this region. Palisade gate does go down. Now there's a lot of exposed villagers here for these knights to charge forward and take out. That spearman base forward. Nessa Bees finds an okay volley down those veteran Royal Knights. They do have Royal Bloodlines research, so it does give them 310 health, which is a significant amount. These Royal Knights are going to be very hard to kill in Castle Wages with the extra health there. Let's get a good charge back there, taking out one villager and one with crossbows. Finds a good damage there with the Nessa Bees, slowly whittling down these Royal Knights. These Royal Knights have been cleaned up. We do have this sizable force here. It's a bit of a mix of everything force, including some Arbaletiers. Archers, spearmen, Arbaletiers, a single man at arms, 2 Royal Knights, and that was Science Monk that just walked on by. He just realized as well. He could try to go for conversions, but it's not going to be successful. He fails the charge, but still guns him down. Over here, Royal Knights find another breach there. Royal Hero Official does gun down. Another monk goes down as well. Crossbows being overwhelmed. Nessa Bees find a volley there on these Royal Knights. Got this various infrastructure now going down as well. Sign has plowed granary here, trying to get his food up and going. Let's get a good charge attack there. And some of these villagers will go down. Blue has killed 13 villagers. Sign's only killed 3. Sign still has a superior number of villagers. Looks like overall he's doing a better job of maxing out his villagers. Both sides still appear to be on one town center production for villagers.
Ojedź tu z le monde.
Most of the fish has been cleaned up on the center of the map. That means the French player will need to start the transition to some other forms of economy or go to some berries on the map. There's still a berry deposit here, so if we can find some time to transition to farms. Royal Knights will see a bit of fire there, going for another line of palisade walls there. Relic being claimed as well. Science picked up one and has another already stored away. Lancers and Palace Guards advancing on forward. You have some spring goal placements here. Men arms or Royal Knights do see a bit of fire there. Try and charge them forward. Does get a siege workshop right there. This mixed force has broken on through. We got a good number of villagers here exposed. 2 relics are inside this monster. Picks one up, goes for conversion. Was unsuccessful, but good attempt. He still has a couple of monks on the field. One to build Q. Blue does fall back. Looks like Blue did lose a couple of Royal Knights there. Try to get some good damage onto these Royal Knights. Of course, they could just fall back and stay out of combat, get some health regen. Blue's mixed force is still over here. Doesn't have siege engineers. If you get siege engineers, you can pull out some batter rams. Blue's not going for the spring goals here, trying to pick off those clock tower nests of bees. Science berries are being cleaned on up. He's trying to go for these berries once again, even going for an outpost as well. The last of these berries, not berries, fish are being claimed. The last of that fish has just been claimed. There's like a couple deposits of fish just left, not a whole lot. These villagers will go through them very quickly. Got these Royal Knights pushing way forward. Do have a handful of spearmen in this army. 7. Out of 7 he has deployed on the field. Going for another wood upgrade. He does have 2 food, soon to be 2 wood, and 1 mining. Over here do have basically the same thing. Zadok Dago gains some bites onto these villagers who are trying to collect up some of these forest puppers. Royal Knights are trying to find another opportunity. He's trying to hit that gold deposit, but he's not currently collecting. There's good gold and stone deposit over here. And that wolf is still getting some bites on in. Right now, Sign does have a larger military force on the field. If you look down here, his force is slightly higher quality. More wolf bites here. He does get all the fish collected in the center of the map. That's a good amount of fish now for a good amount of food for Blue. But of course, that also means now he is going to be hitting a wall without that fish. He's trying to go for those berries. These villagers are all going to go down to these knights. Let's take out a couple of them there. Knight's going to be falling back slow, getting a nice little strike there. He is slightly ahead in village reduction at the moment. Good little strike there. And he will go and take an opportunity to take a swipe at these forces as well. Blue's also stopped the sacred site being captured. He has captured the central sacred site there. Nothing touched with this one over here. Still some wolf bites there. That wolf may have actually killed a villager off. We got wolf bites over here as well. Now we do have Imperial Academy for Blue. Iron increases production. Sign. If he can destroy his Blue's army, he's able to get a bit more food control. But right now, he's just been corralled back in his home. He's getting an opportunity to collect up these berries and the fish. The berries are all cleaned up as well. He is eyeing for more granaries. He may want to get some more wood out for more granaries. And got another line of palisade walls here. Blue has gotten textiles. Trying to collect up some of these forest puppers, but they will be denied. There's a lot of fire coming on them. And actually, no, Science still has a good amount of villagers. Blue must have been really neglecting his village production. Got this force now engaging. Good number of blue spring gulls has go down. Clockhouse spring gull still remains. I don't see any more clocktower nested bees on up here. Royal Knights slowly being picked apart by these crossbow force. It does have some archers mixed in as well. Got these force push on in. Looks like Blue does lose his army here. That's going to be a massive loss for Blue. Cyan has a massive force on the field, and that was a large number of Royal Knights going down as well. They're taking their time to go through all this infrastructure because it's mostly a ranged force. We also have a handful of Spring Golden placements here. Blue all needs to get out some Mangonels to deal with this force right now. Now he has one Spring God on the field. Going for some Man-at-Arms. Man-at-Arms will not be useful versus this opponent who has a large number of crossbows. Has a good number of Arbaletiers, which will be useful versus the Palace Guards. Let's see, is what's back here for production? Not a whole lot back there in production, just a single archer range, a handful of barracks. You can go for Gambesons to give archers more hack armor, +5 hack armor. More of these Royal Knights engage these forces. They are able to overrun these Palace Guards. Not enough spears in that region. Man-at-Arms trying to engage the force as well. Arbaletiers being focused down as well. Mangonel finds a deadly hit there in that ranged force. Mangonel trying to find another hit. Palace Guard trying to engage him. He may want to eye for this force here, but he may have trouble spotting it. And then Mangonel does go down. Blue has a lot of wood here. He may want to take time to build up a lot of infrastructure to start building up his force, because he's going to lose all the central production. Blue's now eyeing for a keep and production over here. You can always boil a keep over here to get the reduction as well. And besides, going to take time to decapture Central Sacred Site there, reverting the Sacred Site victory. Right now, the military force is 65 versus 12. Not a lot for Blue at the moment. He needs more Arbaletiers. He does have Arbaletiers being queued up way over here. Or not, or it's the archer ranges, not necessarily anything inside of those. That's going to take time to collect up this gold deposit. This is a forward gold deposit more inside of the map, so he will deny this gold to his opponent. This gold deposit still can be claimed by either side, though. Cyan's now eyeing for a forward keep in order to claim this stone deposit. There's 800 stone remaining. Palace Guard hacking apart some of these villagers. He does have textiles. Crossbows here to support them as well. And here comes Horsemen to overrun these crossbows in no time. He's got one more villager before going down, and now will be shanked to death by these Horsemen. Sacred Site not being decaptured by Cyan. Does take out the monk there. Mangonel finds a great hit there. Royal Knight turning forward, Horsemen as well. They need to focus on those Palace Guards. Just get a good hit there on the Palace Guards. He has to save those Mangonels. Mangonels start hitting some of this ranged forces. The Palace Guards are too close. Gets a great hit down those crossbows. He does hit the. Oh, does take out. I think that was a Spring Gold that went down. Mangonel's trying to push his way forward. We've got some Bannerums now cleaving their way forward. More Royal Knights here. And these Mangonels are charging forward. I'm not sure what that order is, but they're again annihilated by those melee forces there. Very poor control by Blue. Veterans trying to push way forward, hitting the School of Cavalry. Royal Knights charging forward as well. There's a good number of crossbows here though, so they will be going to versus Royal Knights, but not necessarily versus Horsemen. But there's too many there for Blue to really push forward. And get some good damage. There's a handful of Spearmen here, which will hold the line for Cyan. Now Cyan's eyeing for another forward keep. He needs to get this Bannerram out of the way. and will still be interrupted there by that battering ram. Battering needs to get out of there. School Cavalry now getting hit. He does lose both of his forward archer ranges there, so that's a worry on back on these stables there for production. But Royal Knights are not exactly fast building, how are they? They're currently at 21 seconds. I suppose they are improved by the School of Cavalry, reduced by 20%. And this crossbows now preventing the placement of the castle there, and now the keep is going up. Battery rams cleaving the way forward. So that's a good gold income there. Got these range forces severely damaged. Maganel's firing a good volley there. Does take out the rest of those, most of those range forces there. The same handful of crossbow, archer, and Zinchnu. Finds the rest of them there with that volley. Royal Knights now trying to hit those melee forces there. School of Cavalry has gone down. Its effects are still active. Battering ram does go down, but now with the keep here, it does have the hand cannon mirror slits, which applies a mass amount of damage versus these Royal Knights. Don't need battering rams or trebuchets to deal with that keep, not necessarily these Royal Knights. Does find good attack there. There's still at least one spearman. Villagers was shanked there as well. Trying to deal with these battering rams now. The Royal Institute and the primary town center right here, so if it destroys both these structures, it's game over for blue. Gets a good attack over there. He's out of gold. He has plenty of gold. He should be buying food. He could potentially utilize those berries on those mills, get any sort of income. He still looks like now eyeing for this stone deposit. And blue does back out of the game now. This Android saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay. See, that was basically the only game I could get. That was not one of those custom games, one of those maps I may not have downloaded. Let's find another person. Got some games here. 32 minutes, let's do it. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Age of Empires 4 replay. Spawn on the north side as the Red English, we are Dragvon. Spawn on the south side as the Blue Roost, we are Divine DFP. Since we do have a Roost player here, let's go back out of caster mode, get the Roost player selected, and keep an eye on the trade bounties. Gold being collected up normal, got some exotic doggos being found. Some of these forest puppers have gone down, this one has been untouched. The English does find these deer, and this deer has not been found just yet. It appears that, okay, red has gone for a second scout. Now it's starting to hit some of these other deer there. I just realized something as well. Need to make sure I have rumble up so I can see the comments. And now these scouts are engaging each other. Blue is now deploying out the Kremlin, pretty standard. Blue does find another dog there. Do now have the enough trade bounties for tier 2. So you will need to get out a high trade house to get anywhere close to tier 3. So killing off 2 boar will help out that. Trying to collect the stone and wood here. Very nice. Scout does spot this, which will result him eyeing for a second town center sooner rather than later. We've got the Abbey Kings now deployed on the field. We've got the King now deployed on the field, trying to make his way around. Of course, the King can be forced back by the militia from the Kremlin. King is advancing forward. You have a scout here. Now the King's going to make his charge with the Kremlin here. It does act as a wooden fortress. Does get it firing. The King only has 2 pierce armor, so it takes quite a bit of damage from those arrows. Oh, and I hear something else. It does take out that scout as well. Kremlin also becomes, like, starts out fully upgraded as well, so It has like 11 damage per arrow, something really high. The king has received quite a bit of damage there, needs to fall back. The abbot can help out with healing as well as him being out of combat. Militia has another 30 seconds before they die from a heart attack. And we do have the second town center being placed right there, or right there. And if you look over here, this is one of Blue's wood deposit. If he collects that one up nice and early, that'd be great. He has 2 wood deposits down here, so a trade house right here will be very good. So if he collects the wood here first, this could provide him some better opportunity later on for the trade house down here to provide some good income. I'm going to fast forward the moment. The king is the only thing that the English player has to put on field, and of course just scouts for the roost. And there's the lumber camp there, providing some extra wood drop off as well, thanks to the Kremlin. Another town center being pulled up by red, very nice. Those are both sides designed to eco. We've got textiles and survival techniques. Has the English player gone for survival techniques? No, he does not. He does have a mill out nice and early, which will provide some excellent food income from these farms. These farms will provide a faster collection rate than deer. Additionally, the fact that he doesn't have survival techniques, it makes it so that he will definitely get a lot more food from those farms than deer. The king's now trying to advance it forward. Going to try to shank the king. The king does get stuck right there. He's going to force him fight. Got militia also stabbing him as well. The king does escape on out of there. And we do got, it looks like a full mill being put on the field. Europe here could be claimed. They're in a pretty good position to be collected by a single town center. Putting mill right here would also be a good collection.
Готово идти.
I do not have this scout receiving a bit of fire from the scout. And let's go and just fast forward a little bit since it's just right now back to the eco phase. The king's still roaming around, gets some good health regen, advancing a little bit too far close to this town center. We'll receive a lot of damage from the town center here. Its damage will be 6 damage per arrow, so it'll be 4 damage each, and that king does take quite a bit of damage there. Blue scout does go down. It does have a good number of longbowmen now being put on field. English now planning to put some aggression. Blue does, of course, have 3 town centers, will provide some excellent village production for his opponent. He may be eyeing for the king's, not King's Abbey, King's Palace, in order to get additional town center going. He does have enough to age up now. Where is the King's Palace going up? Right there. Bruce player is still a little bit far behind to go for the next age. He needs some more people on gold. He has a good amount of food income coming on in, so let's go and fast forward a little bit. You got a good number of knights now deployed on the field. Over here, the scout received a bit of fire there. Does get a good charge attack. Does try to go for boar there. Gonna take the opportunity to take out the blue scout as well. Of course, the scout does do bonus damage for the scouts. We've got these villagers here. Won't be able to get a kill there. The king does not have high enough damage. His sword is 16 damage, while these early knights had 19 damage. Going for the charge there. Does get 1 lance hit. It also denies the health regen. This player is not going to try to collect the boar quickly. With a tier 2 trade, these villagers will collect the food very quickly, and also thanks to survival technique. Right now is what, about plus 45% collecting of food from huntables? 10%, so it'll be plus 35%, which is still a significant amount. Additionally, he's pretty close to, if he kills off the other boar, he'll be pretty close to the tier 3 trade bounty. Going for these fortified palisade walls now. We got a good number of crossbows, spearmen, and longbowmen advance forward. He does have the age advantage. Veteran longbows now being pulled on the field, going for the high trade house now. Right in that spot I mentioned earlier. Does take out, I think that was a scout there. Blue does have a decent army here. This is Kremlin, but remember the primary town's over here. Does take a bit of time for those militia to rotate around. He does have 7 charges, so that could be 14 militia that can be called on in. Over here, King now advances forward. Does going to receive a lot of fire there from that wooden fortress there. Archers gains good damage on the spearmen. He's at one of the early knights. Early knights just trying to hit those longbowmen. Now come hitting these spearmen there. All the spearmen have gone down. Now these longbowmen could be overran. Going for the early man-at-arms research. We also now have arrow slip being deployed out over here as well. Got the new age now out in the field. Curious how much the high trade house will provide him out. It's probably gonna be around 200, I would guess.
Приготовляйтесь, воине! Служите, рад, yes.
Longbowman and though that crossbow's alive, but barely. Does pick up a relic there. He's going aggressive with these relic pickups. He does have one and one in his hands. The other ones are, one can be easily claimed by red, the other one's contestable, the other one's safe in blue's territory. King charges on forward. We got Pierce damage not being researched by red. That'll help him make these longbows put some bigger holes in his opponent. And the crossbows gain some much needed health regen from the king. He does have 8 charges on militia, so he can pull out 16 militia whenever he so chooses.
Сделано будет.
But you have this longbowman advancing forward. We got these forces starting to make their way forward as well. Archer trying to engage that longbow. Does find one of these villagers there. These villagers need to fall back. They go for a spring golem placement there. He may want to gouge 18 militia. Knights receive a bit of fire there. Does lose one of them. Villagers charging forward. Scout charging forward. Taking the scout there. Spring golem placement going up. Got a decent force here. Going for armor clad. Got 31 versus 40. But it's higher quality for blue with all those knights. He's getting out a wave of crossbows as well as early knights or regular knights. These man-at-arms are going to be very hard to deal with all their armor being researched. He's now going for siege engineers. Some battery rams would not hurt. Now we've got this force advancing along the flank. Does have textiles research. Spring golem placement does connect on one of those spearmen, taking them out. Got banners now being deployed on the front line. More forces over here. Can pull out another battery ram soon with enough wood. Knight or king and scout advance forward. Scout received quite a bit of damage there. If he's mainly targeted, he can take out the scout with the Townsend arrows, but he does not. Batterin's now trying to push his way forward. Going out, trying to hit these stables now. Got more crossbows being deployed on the field. Got 4 arrows 42 on the build queue now.
Построено крепко есть.
These forces trying to make their way forward, trying to torch on the housing. The Reese player does have some spare housing. Does get a great charge attack there. The spear did not get any spear braces there. Archers push way forward. It'd be good for them to hit either anything really. Whether it be longbows or those spearmen. The spear knocked down. The longbow could be overran. Battering still makes way forward. The militia could go forward and hit that battering ram. Where she is, some of those archers got peeled off to hit as well. He's on general A move forward right now with the ranged force. Knights are being focused down. He does have a handful of crossbows in his force, at least 6. Man-at-arms receive a bit of fire there, but these archers don't do exactly great damage. These man-at-arms are now up to 7 pierce armor, so those archers won't do 1 damage each. Good health regen aura there from the king. Militia making their advance. They're down to 11 seconds. They're about ready to fall over. All of them is going to die from dysentery. And the militia just expired right there. That's quite a bit of the front line now gone. Blue still has a superior quality of force in the field. Does have a Mangonel on the force as well. He has also more numbers. Blue's going to be falling back. Without the militia front line, he doesn't really want to engage. Spawn doesn't really have much of front line either.
Yeah, you come gun.
Приготовляйтесь, а наказы исполнять.
And it looks like this force is going to be thrown away. Here's some relics being picked on up. Red will soon have 4. Blue will soon have 1.
Постро.
Watch them out, the Rus wood has been claimed. And looks like this high trade out, so let's do 199. Wait, if he gets enough deer, he will soon get the tier 3, greatly improving their gold income. While Red does have a superior number of military units on the field, Blue does have a higher quality force. We also have now a wooden fortress going up. A single man armed trying to torch down some of these lumber camps. We do have, looks like 2 pierce armor, no hack damage, 2 pierce damage, and no hack armor, no hack damage for the English player. Just gone for armor, ranged armor. Going from some melee armor would be very useful for his front line to hold better. Blue, however, has gone for the same thing. Pierce armor and pierce damage. We've got this force now rotating around, trying to gauge these forces. Blue is now claiming to take a site there, getting a bit extra gold generation. Mangonel's getting a little bit left behind, but that could also mean that they're not going to be focused down as easy.
Ich heere Tat. We have a gun.
Do now the high armory going on up.
It is Idon.
And now the Sacred Site has been captured in the center by Red. This one's uncontested at the moment. We have a keep over here, and there's actually 2 gold deposits in this region. Very, very good. This wooden fortress may want to be upgraded with at least a spotting castle watch. Could be upgraded with some other things, but there's enough room for the keep to store away the villagers. But an increased spotting could be very handy, as well as getting both of them upgraded spring golds. Mangonels do have a range of 9, and Castle's arrows only have a range of 8. So Mangonels can outrange castles or keeps. And now we've got Imperial Age for the Rus. Has gone for the High Armory, which is located right here, going for a good number of siege workshops. Maybe a little bit too many, but this of course allows them to get cheaper siege weapons. Now going for also the improved siege technologies as well, including the banded arms. He's greatly going to increase his range of his spring golds up to 12.5 tile range. We do now this wooden fortress now deployed out in the field. And he's going to go for this palisade gate there so he can torch down the battle ram. Lancers or knights aren't able to engage the knights. Does get great charge attack there on the battle ram there. These villagers need to get on out of there. I think that was a YouTube subscription. Welcome to the YouTube channel. We do now have this keep now receiving quite a bit of fire there. Does have this keep and the wooden fortress pretty much fully garrisoned. The keep now receiving massive amounts of fire there. Needs to get this force over here. Berkshire Castle being put on the field. In the center of the map, that will provide a very good presence in the center of the map. Keep starting to go down. Blue's Archer force now base forward. Will receive some massive Mangonel fire. These villagers are starting to go down as well. That's a good hit there by that Mangonel. And the rest of those forces will be cleaned up. Blue has to be very careful. He's losing a good number of villagers there. He still has a superior number of villagers since he had an extra town center earlier on. Blue's now base over here as well, trying to interrupt the Berkshire Castle. If he gets a good volume of these villagers, that would be great. But nope, it's going to just fall back away from the Berkshire Castle. It's not going to try to stop it. We do have these man-at-arms advancing forward. We've got some of these Schultzy now put on the field. But they're being rallied forward, so they're getting picked off. Berkshire Castle now put on the field. Does have 15 tower range with all weapons. You may want to get some of these other weapons going. Barring the boiling oil, of course. That does not get 15 tower range. Nobody's that good at throwing oil yet. You also got some palings being put out there. Mangonel's find a good volley there, gets hits on the longbowman, but Mangonel's not getting overran. Blue's army has disintegrated greatly. It's getting out some more and more Schultzy and Horsemen. That's going to be his composition. Schultzy Horsemen. That should be very effective versus the crossbow. Longbowman will be so decent against both those units, especially Schultzy, who only has 4 tower range. 4 tower range. Longbowman, of course, have a range of 7. Getting some hits there on these stables. Veterans now pushing forward with the Mangonel. Over here, we do have now the Warrior Monk engaging the man-arms. Looks like the Warrior Monk will win out. Blue has some battery rams here, but of course, this is not H-Fire, so you can't use battery rams to gauge opponent's battery rams. That's set the stable blaze. It does burn down there. Horseman charging forward. It does take out the Mangonel there with the spring bolts. Now these spring bolts can be very useful as these battery rams, of course. And now some of these Schultzy are now getting hit as well. They're expensive, even though they're cheap for hand cannoneer. Horseman charging forward. He's fought at this current rate, needs more horsemen. We can see more man-arms being put on the field. Schultzy advancing on forward as well. Batteries are charging forward, trying to draw some fire. Does not have the Wandering Town research to give him health regen, as well as more health. Spring balls can just be generally a move forward as well. They don't pair with the shootout, though they do prefer some units, but they can at least provide some fire support here. Horsemen being picked apart there. Schultzy gains good damage on these various forces. He does not have chemistry just yet. He's going for biology right now. Batterians, good number of them here, trying to advance up forward, trying to get some good damage. Mangonels do siege damage, but do bypass all those range armor of the battery rams. Village coming forward, trying to force down these battery rams. Got a massive wave of battery rams put on the field. After all, they are cheaper thanks to the high armory. But right now, Blue needs more Mangonels. He's getting more Mangonels put on the field. Now, it does have this gold being collected there. He's actually pretty low on gold income. There we go, there's another gold deposit over here. He does have 1 sacred site for gold income. Red has currently 2. Berkshire Castle will stop any of these ground forces from really advancing. Let's get some good damage on these battery rams. Do now the Wandering Town research. Because the ram's health by 50% and give them 2% health regen per second. We got 3 Mangonels now on field. His opponent does not appear to okay, he's getting a good wave of man-at-arms deployed on the field. I don't know where, though. Some of these villagers are being picked off by the English villagers. They do, of course, have right now 7 attack versus the 3 pierced armor of the Rus villagers. Plus, it's going to Blue's line for more pierce damage, which he doesn't really have any ranged units at the moment, so he could probably hold off on that, get some other units at the time being. He definitely needs hack damage for his horsemen. That will help out. Mangonel finds an excellent volley there on those red man-at-arms. These little man-at-arms, he will be able to hit these backline a bit better. When Red's Mangonels do go down, finds a good volley there on the crossbows and longbows. It looks like it does save those Mangonels from the man-at-arms. Now it's going to be Iron for a counterattack. Though Blue is running low on Schultzy. Let's push forward with a wave of militia. They just want to need to get trebuchets to engage the Berkshire Castle at the current rate. Berkshire Castle range is quite far, but trebuchets can outrange it by 1 tile.
Каменщики, поражайте купно!
We got siege training crews rapidly increase the teardown and setup times of mangonels as well as trebuchets and bombars. The mangonels can be very important in this instance.
Ich will a baby, Hester.
Looks like Blue's trying to go for a keep here. Red's villager's trying to retaliate. He does have textiles, both players does. That will provide him some good extra amount of health. But it looks like Red, the ground army is now here to support out the villagers. He may be able to stop these villagers from getting up this keep. There's no siege weapons to really engage the keep when he does get up. He is going to immediately start torching it down. And does get it built there, needs to get these villagers on the inside. Only 3 villagers may escape on in. Does not have access to boiling oil. Now it's going to be advancing forward. If battery rams hit that Berkshire Castle, it's going to take an opportunity to use his spade to approach the center. He's even going to advance forward the ground army as well. That's going to be painful. He's trying to save these battery rams. Villagers being brought off the line to hit these battery rams. Red does have superior on village mode. Schultz gains good damage there. Berkshire Castle now garrisoned with a lot of extra people. So that's a lot of extra arrows it's going to be firing. But here comes the Mangonella volley there. Takes out the keep there. Villagers will not hit by the splash damage from Mangonellas, which is very important. Mangonellas will quickly splash them all down. We got some hand cannons now floated by Red as well. Schultz advancing forward with the horsemen. His current rank, he may want to get out galloping horse archers. They can outrange longbows with gallop enabled. Schultz now engaging as well. Mangonella finds a slight splash damage hit. Veterans are cleaving through Red's base. Red does have some housing here. Ooh, massive wave of villagers now down. Put them down 10, but still a lot of them idle. And Red does have spare population space for when he starts losing his housing. Blue has a nice little army here. Red, his force is very vulnerable to these Mangonellas. He's unable to deal with those Mangonellas. These horsemen zone. He's getting more horsemen. Still at full 200 population. Trying to clean through more of his housing. Finds a volley there. Get some damage there in the archery range. You can use Mangonellas to hit these structures well. Average strokes in the mix of everything will not be that bad. If he just holds ground near the Mangonellas from shooting anything advanced, he will get the static place with the increased rate of attack speed. Does see a massive volley there in front of the Mangonellas. Strolsey advancing on forward. Mangonellas cleaning through a lot of this infrastructure. Red's now losing max pop cap, but he's currently not at pop cap. Great hit there. Find some good hits there as well. There's another YouTube subscription. Welcome to the channel. Pattern 34 trying to clean through more of this infrastructure. The Abbey Kings go down next. Finds a good hit there. His farmland could be next. Finds another volley, and Red does back of the game now. Those Mangonellas just simply, I think, is what really did the English player in. The Schultz could be handled at range, but he's unable to deal with the Mangonellas that kept on dealing with him at range. Either way, this is Grade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. And before I start the next replay, I do need to use the restroom. My apologies. Please give me one moment. Sorry about that. Dude makes the game sound like 20% more quiet, please. Otherwise, great casting. Thank you. Let's see now. What map was that? I think it's actually a recent game. I'm not a big fan of mirror matchups, so let's sort of avoid that. I believe that was what I just did. 26 minutes. We could do this one. 20 minutes. Another 26 minutes. Got some replays over here. 22 minutes. I'm just a bit greedy right now. I'm gonna see if I can't find another really good length one. $22, 18, 19, 24. So there's another possible one. And 8. Okay, let's do one of these 26-minute ones, like this one. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another... Okay, he's going for Mills. I was a bit wondering, like, I see all the villagers rushing forward, something that sounds like I would do. Spawn on the top side as the red French, we have 3D cap. Spawn on the south side as the blue Abbasid Dynasty, we have Divine DFP. French versus the Abbasid Dynasty. French, of course, is their standing composition, and feudal age is the Royal Knight and Archer. Abbasid Dynasty, of course, can pull out some camel archers. It will be very helpful versus both those items. So a mix of, and later on you could access camel riders, but until that point, probably a good composition. Oh, for School of Cavalry as well. Good composition would probably be spearmen and horsemen to start out with the game with some archers to boot as well. Probably asking quite a bit. Got the military wing going on out, trying to defend himself with a small little force here. The quality of stream dropped. Maybe something on your end. I have not dropped any network frames, so I do not believe there's anything on my side. It could be something on YouTube's side or on your own side. Don't mean to sound rude. We do have the fishies now being banned. He does spot the School of Cavalry being in the middle of the map. Destroying this will not silence the effects of the reduced production speed. Yep, it may just been an issue of YouTube or your own network. Got a small little force advance forward. Torching down the house is probably the better option. Not only easier, they also will actually do some decent effect of putting your opponent at pop cap. And that would actually put your opponent on pop cap. They have a home wrecker, these people are. Scout advancing forward. Does not try to shank the scout. Oh yeah, the French one uses an axe, right? It says sword. I'm pretty sure the French scouts use an axe. And what's worse way to be pursued by than a crazy woman with an axe? We do now have this house now set ablaze. He will need to get that house rebuilt, along with some other housing. He does get a single archer here. He may want to get out more archers. He does have a Royal Knight being deployed on the field. It's going to be around this side. He could try pushing it right here, but he's trying to avoid the spearman. If he's able to get some good damage on the spearman, there we go. He does pour it out right there. And does get a bit of damage there. Trying to focus on these spearmen. If you take out the spearman, then the Royal Knight can take out the other stuff. But he's getting out more spearmen now. They are hardened spearmen now. He's getting fire there onto the scout. One of Red's archers is severely wounded. One arrow from death or one spear poke. Try to go for spear brace there, unsuccessful. Does take out that wooden archer there, very nice. Red's archer falling back, trying to focus on these spearmen. Does get some good hits there, does receive some hits there on his own Royal Knight, however. No additional Royal Knights being put on the field. Never mind, there's now a Royal Knight on the build queue now. Trying to torch on the School of Cavalry. Fresh foodstuffs on the build queue. We do have wheelbarrow for the Abbasid Dynasty player, so does the French player. One of Blue's archers almost went down. He's getting some more archers, and 90 additional spearmen at the moment. He may want to get out at least a couple more spearmen just to make sure the Royal Knights don't get anything cheeky. Does get a charge attack there, and does get some damage down on that archer now. Is that one of the archers there? Another one of Red's archers do go down to focus on the spearmen, and there goes all the spearmen there. He needs to you have to maintain your spearman production against the French, because if you're just all of a sudden run out of spearmen, now you got these Royal Knights trying to hack apart your archers as they're trying to run away through the marsh. You got a single spearman here. He can do some good damage there, but he can get completely focused down. Does get a good hit down the wounded Royal Knight. Down to 2 health there. He may want to just fall back to, say, the far side of his base and wait till Chivalry gets researched, because at 2 health, not going to be doing all too much. As one with 2 health, it's going to make some harassment there with the other Royal Knight. Falling back now, another Royal Knight pull on the field. Yeah, send this wounded Royal Knight. Maybe just send him to the top corner of the map, so once you find Chivalry, you get it healed up. But even suppose even now, even these wolves even pose a threat to these Royal Knights. There's no wolf up there. No exotic doggos demanding head pats. Got a couple sheeple here. Got a forward archer range here. There's a couple villagers here for some odd reason. They could potentially pull out an outpost here and get arrow slits to be a good defensive spot for this region. Brennan Avison didn't see doesn't need siege engineers to pull out batter rams. Does take out the sheep there. Spearman advancing forward with the archers. School of Cavalry still has plenty of health. The archer range does have a lot less health than the School of Cavalry, being a non-landmark. And now the Scout and Royal Knights trying to advance forward. They're moving right here. This will help take out these vulnerable reinforcements. Another Royal Knight on the build queue. Not on the. You can always build them in the backline stable. They do cost the same out here, and they do have both the same deployment times. You don't have to build it from the School of Cavalry. Could have found another archer there. Could potentially focus on these spearmen as well. Does get a good hit there on the Scout, which is actually good for Red because that Scout does have health regen and will provide a lot less power effect damage there. Does lose the Scout, however, entirely. That does pose a bit of a problem. Royal Knights could get a charge attack there on these villagers. He does have textiles. Archer range has been torched down. We have another archer range and stable here. And something garrisoned inside this tower, or town center, could be that wounded knight that we saw earlier. This Royal Knight has gone down. This one is rotating around. Red has a much smaller force than blue, but the quality is only slightly in favor of blue. However, he does have a very powerful counter force with these spearmen against these Royal Knights. But Red right now is pulling out a lot of archers. Boot cannon now being put on field. This will provide a massive benefit to Blue's infantry force, archer and spearman included. Finds good volley there on some of these Blue spearmen there. Very nice. Does fall back, only lose 1 archer in return. And now boot camp research. Now Blue's archer should be able to win out in 1v1s. Does have +1 pierce damage. Red has +1 hack damage. Royal Knight, he does have Chivalry upgraded. Gonna go for a charge there. Does get the attack off. Royal Knight needs to fall back. School of Cavalry is almost down. We got Pierce Armor now being researched by Blue, so overall Blue's going for a higher quality research. Red's going for a Pierce Armor as well, very nice. Very useful, especially for those Royal Knights. Other archer range being put on the field. He's going to be eyeing for more archers. Royal Knights finding some reinforcements there. And now, at the current rate, with 1 landmark destroyed, Blue has an opportunity to do something that you don't usually see. He could try to do a battering ram rush on the opponent's town center to knock him out of the game instantly. It is a possibility. Not sure if it's a good idea. And he's opposite Dynasty. You don't require siege engineer, so he already has access to battering rams. These Royal Knights have seen quite a bit of damage there. They may want to just fall back, get some health regen. He does get this knight evacuated outside the town center, you can see here. And
Squid.
that was that severely wounded one, so Chevalier is being very useful getting him healed up. Exotic Doggo does prevent him getting any more health regen on one of those Royal Knights. And this is going to take time to repair up the landmarks. Not critical to repair it up. It's simply a single stable at this moment in time. Of course, it's very healthy and can hold back your opponent for quite some time trying to torch it down. Ooh, look at this. 2 berry deposits right next to each other. He does miss one of the berry bushes with the mill, with the extra capacity, but it's probably not really worth it to get another mill just for it. Though probably another mill over here would help our collection rate either way, and it would provide additional 100 food, and mills are what, 50? Yeah, 50, so that would be technically cost efficient. Turning 50 for 100 while also being good collection efficient. But either way, I can understand what another people won't exactly do that. Red's now trying to clean up some of these fishies. There's also these sheep carcasses here and rotting in the water. Still very delicious. After all, who doesn't want soggy sheep? It's not like it's soggy wool. Royal Knights charging forward, trying to find a good engagement. And they will find one, getting 2 villagers, 3 villagers killed almost instantaneously. Another villager goes down as well. That's 4 villagers killed off immediately, putting Red in a massive villager lead. Even though Blue's only killed 1, Blue's been a little bit absconding in his village production for a couple months. He's also getting another scout. More of these reinforcements being picked on off. Red right now does have 32 archers for opponent's 28s. So, oh, does get a spear brace there. Phalanx providing the extra range is very important for those spear braces. Red does have a spear number of archers here, and they would like to hit everything here, but it's probably a good idea to focus on those spearmen. Spearman getting some pokes there onto these red archers there. Royal Knights now charging forward. He needs to make sure to focus on these spearmen. Allows Royal Knights more free reign over his opponent's archers. Getting some damage there. He does hit the villager a little bit. Red's coming back down off. Got 34 versus 34 military units on the field. Royal Knights gain some much needed health regen. They're all a little bit battered and bruised. Or in the sky. We only have Golden Age Tier 1, but Golden Age Tier 1 is where most of your benefits come from. Tier 3 provides us good benefits as well, but Tier 2 is not that great in my opinion. Research speed, not so much. The increased resource collection of all resources is incredibly powerful. The French, in comparison as well, doesn't have any economic benefits until they get a castle wage and deploy out a keep for reduced deployment costs of units. Which is still very strong, can be further decreased to 30%. They are now being pushed around. Does have a line of palisade walls there, so these Royal Knights can't advance to that region unless they torch it down. If he's paying attention, he will hear these deer being knocked around and see them being knocked around. I think, though, he has a vision of these guys with these buildings nearby either way. I got a good number of archers here. 38 archers by blue, 36 archers by red, but in red still some reinforcements being brought on in as well. Archers advance forward, does find a good volley there, but remember as well, the blue archer is a little bit higher quality than his opponent. Does get some spear brace there on some of these Royal Knights, picks off one of the Royal Knights now. Spirit could be just generally a move forward. Takes out another scout there. Doesn't find a hit there onto those Royal Knights. Royal Knights taking a bit of beating there. Another Royal Knight does go down to the archer fire. He does have small military force on the field. He does have a single camel archer, which is right here, providing the camel unease benefit to these nearby units. Reducing the damage output of these Royal Knights by 20%, as well as those 2 bonus damage versus light or melee units, but of course this one doesn't have any. Does get the Town Center arrows firing as well. Red's now falling back. Blue has less force on the field, and Blue's force's overall quality and resources less, but it does have a little bit more resources, including hack damage, as well as boot camp. So the Royal Knights gain some much needed health regen. What remains of them? So there's actually a lot that remains of them, which means a lot of health benefits. Most of these berries have been claimed, so he's going to be running out of that food deposit. He does have these berries down here, so he's already building a mill. He is getting arrow slits here. Let's see how many villagers nearby. He does have 15, so he has enough garrison space for these people. When the French come knocking on in, one village may have been left behind there. Arrow slits are being researched as well, gaining some extra damage on these arrows, as well as +1 range. Let's get a good spear brace there on 4 of those Royal Knights, able to take a good number of them out. Red's now falling back and having trouble exiting that choke point there. Great engagement there from Blue, taking out a good number of those Royal Knights. Now he does have the outpost of blood on field. And we do got a good number of mills in some of the map. You may want to get out some additional mills there. He's collecting up these fishies. They learned something about from the Brits as they invaded land. Fish and chips. You now have these farms going up as well. He's trying to get some more food sources. Not really a whole lot of there. There's 4 berries as well as a fishing deposit. Royal Knights trying to find another engagement, but of course they will be spotted. Right now, Blue's nowhere near game's next stage, nor is Red, so both cards are not eyeing for Castle Age. Let's get inside the tower there. Does get some slice on those villagers, not really successful, however. Royal Knights falling on back now. They do currently have 4 pierce armor, so these archers are only doing 2 damage each person, not a whole lot. And they only have sporadic damage across all of them, so Chivalry will get them topped off enough quite nicely. You got 72 military units versus 71 military units.
Si comprendo. Okay.
Red's trying to find another engagement. He could go for siege engineers to help batter down this region. He'll especially put up some big holes in these palisade walls there. Does have the outpost now firing away. He does have 20 villages in this region, so it's not enough room for everybody. These Royal Knights advance forward. There's a handful of spearmen in this region. You may find the deers. Let's get a great charge attack there, taking out a good number of those villagers. Red's falling back. The village count is 70 to 70. Red has killed more. Blue does have 2 sound centers. One only has full of 1. So it looks like Blue's not been maintaining good village production, or Red's doing a good job of calling the extra village production. Doing 12 versus bonus 2. Got some good attacks there on these villagers. They're trying to get in that tower there. But of course the rest will be sliced apart. Does take out those couple of Royal Knights here, but those lose a number of villagers. I mentioned before on the increased production rate. Blue still has a better economy than his opponent due to the Golden Age Tier 1. At 15%, just assume there's 50% more villagers right here. So just assume there's about, what, another 10 villagers? And that is Blue's income. He also has all the economic text here. Red is just missing the gold compared to his opponent as well. Royal Knights trying to make their way forward as well. There's only a handful of these guys collecting up these forest puppers. There's still a good number of them out in the field as well. There's 4 of them still standing. And of course the one taking a bit of a nap. Oops. Hit my desk. We do now have the outpost has been destroyed. He does abandon it, does save those villagers. Economically not doing research, so the Abbasid Dynasty player is now advancing to the next age, but the French player is not. The economic wing will of course allow him access to additional research. It does have Golden Age Tier 2, so that it does have faster research speed, which is going to be very useful to get a technological advantage at this age. You access the Fertile Crescent, not important. Agriculture, this is going to be important when he starts getting out more and more farms. And the composite bow can be very useful as well, making his archers that have a little bit more health will have a lot more attack speed, and he'll have access to other resources like the veteran archer research as well. So soon his archers will be a much higher quality. There's 96 archers, soon to be 100 archers in French, and the Abbasid player only has 72 archers. Going for the camel riders wouldn't be half bad, but the first level of armor research is melee armor, not pierce armor. So they're a little bit double-edged sword versus these archers. Run from outposts here. That's not a good idea. This note does pick up one of those villagers. Trying to torch down some more of these wall segments. Outpost is still healthy. Royal Knights will see a bit of fire there. Trying to go for this outpost as well. It's probably not a good idea to go for the outpost. But we now have the Spearman now engaged in a bit of a frenzy here. Let's get the outpost going up. He does have a bit of gold to work with the research. He's still going to be a bit hard bad on research. He needs to get it up and going. His village need to get on out of there. You have still going to take a bit of time, another 45 seconds for both. Luke's going to have to hold the line. He's trying to hold the line, trying to hold back his opponent. You have similar military numbers right there. Red is trying to make the breach here. If he doesn't crack his opponent now, he will probably lose the game. Starting to fall back now. He's not getting any blacksmith research at the moment, so extra pierce armor would not hurt. And the camel archer does go down there, so now these Royal Knights are engaging at full strength now. And there's a composite bows, increasing the attack speed significantly. He also has some Guillaumes now pulling the field. They do have a high attack speed. Royal Institute now on the build queue for the French player. Trying to stall out, trying to get his own castle reach because he realizes he can't be dealing with these advanced archers, which right now they're a veteran archer, I should say. They had to increase damage to do 8 damage per arrow with a higher attack speed, making their attack speed 1.12, versus these archers only 6 damage and attack speed of 1.62. These guys fire 33% faster and have hit much harder at the moment. Royal Institute being built by 32 villagers. He's really trying to get it out. There it is. He needs to get his own veteran archer research. He's going for the veteran Royal Knight as well. Or just the veteran Royal Knight. He does, I think, quickly buy up, sell off some resources there to get the veteran archer research as well as pierce armor. Trying to hold the line. Has a small military force in the field. He's going for Arbaletiers. The passive could be very useful and help to hold the line against these archers. Town center was not garrisoned. If you would have thrown a bunch of these archers inside that town center, that could have been a great defensive point there. Now just got a bit of a runaround going on. Who now has a weird angle. Now he's moved back to his base. He could try pulling a battle ram quickly. Veteran archer research is not complete just yet. Going for Cantus Saddles. Cantus Saddles pulling not that great. There's nothing to really stop these Royal Knights from hitting these archers hard. Elons are going to be holding the line for the time being, but they'll have that trouble versus man arms and not counters to them. Both sides archers are firing against each other. Red's Royal Knights are being picked off one at a time. He's focused those guys down first as they pose a bigger threat to his army. Now Guillaumes had gone for a nice little flank there, surrounds the French archers, and now the French archers are starting to get ripped apart. He needs to run them into the town center. He needs to run them into the town center so he can start firing, and at least they'll be firing arrows, not exactly great arrows, but they will be at least firing some arrows. And Red's archers are disintegrated, and Red does back to the game now. This is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Yep, I think that Castle Age is what blew the game. That was another game of 26 minutes. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Let's see, was it this one? That's one I already did. Here it is. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age of Empires 4 replay. Spawn on the top left side as the pink French, we have Maltese. Spawn on the bottom right side as the blue English, we have Divine DFPs. You immediately go trying to claim these fishies. Very, very nice. It's something I should do as Mongols myself. I immediately take the gear and the villagers and immediately march to the fishes, because there is a lot of food there, and it's all can be gathered up quickly as deer, large deposits in deer, but they don't have the same carrying capacity. But it still provides an X amount of food. English versus the French. Time-old enemies like the Englishmen and Scots, the Frenchmen and Scots, and the Japanese and the Scots. Scots and other Scots. Damn those Scots. They're in Scotland. Oh wait, Chamber of Commerce. We got something a little bit different today. Very, very nice. I like to see something different. With this, his opponent may not be eyeing for Royal Knights being put on the field. Common French composition is Royal Knight and Archer. The English tend to go for man-at-arms, spearmen, and longbows. Longbows can be very useful for versus most things. We'll have a bit of trouble versus Royal Knights. Man-at-arms can be very hard to deal with, so Royal Knights are probably going to be the necessary counter. And of course, he is one of traders himself manually. Wait, did they change this? Axis Market trains one trader for each economic research. Yep, that's still the standard trader cost. So he's mainly training traders. He could go for economic research, including the cheap ones like the wood chopping upgrade, to get out free traders. I think he already got that. Did he? He must have already got that. So now I have two traders on the field. He's going heavy for early trade. We do not have Wheelbarrow on the build queue for the English player. He does have, of course, the Council Hall going off some longbowmen. Has a couple spear on the build queue as well. He deploys the spear concerned about the Royal Knights. We do now have archer range to be fought up by the French as well as steel going for Royal Knights mainly. These traders, of course, they're not going to be at maximum distance, so they only be dividing not even as much as a single villager when collecting up gold. At this point in time, traders are incredibly expensive. You can of course go for economic text to get out more additional traders. More fishes being claimed. You could pull out some additional mills, help improve the collection rate. Zogdago does get some fights there on the Royal Knight. You may want to make sure he maintains a good production of archers just in reserve to protect himself from the English advance. Scout does see a bit of arrows there, does spot the Council Hall, does spot these villagers. And now I do have a market up here as well. That's where it's going to maximize his trade. Does get inside the outpost there, get a lot of damage onto this Royal Knight. Longbow's trying to make the advance. Royal Knight charging forward. Does not have any spearmen on the front line. Now he does. I wonder. Let's switch out of caster mode. I am curious what the blue player sees, because he's probably not aware. He's not aware of the Chamber of Commerce at the moment. And now he sees a Chamber of Commerce. I wonder if that clicks in his mind that he needs to start scouring the edges of the map for traders. Let's see. Free camera. What does he see? I am curious of what he's focusing on. He may have actually saw it, but not actually realize he saw it. As you can see here, he's focused on the town center. His camera angle is also more vertical, it looks like, not the traditional camera angle. It's what he's focused on up there. Does spot the Royal Knight charging forward. Does spot it taking out a villager. And now he sees him falling back. But I don't think he has not realized that he has spotted the Chamber of Commerce yet. Let's see what he sees. He sees in the top left of the map. I wonder if he actually realizes it just yet. It's the corner of your eye. He's building more stuff at home. Oops, I forgot to also turn off that. There we go. Let's find some of these exotic doggos, the French player. Royal Knights charging forward. We'll find a handful of these spearmen, able to quickly overwhelm them. Now these Royal Knights needs to pursue these longbowmen and kill them off. There's a couple spearmen here for defense. Does get some good damage there on the Royal Knights. Let's fall back there. I wonder if he has chivalry research just yet. Pierce armor now being researched by the English player. Very nice. He already has pierce damage for his longbows. Castle network of castles now activated. Right now, Blue has a larger force out on the field, a little bit lower quality, but he does have items to engage those higher quality Royal Knights. He's going for more archers here. Does get some more research text going. Does have a trader there, sort of idle. I'm a bit curious about something as well. We don't see the improved lumber chopping at the moment. When you research economic tech, does it add in a trader to be queued up? I'm a little bit curious about that. How it exactly works. Is it instantaneous or does it put one in the build queue? If it puts on the build queue, can you cancel it for a bit of resources? Let's see what happens. Because I saw the lumber chopping upgrade. Yeah, it puts one in the build queue. It doesn't say it has a cost. It doesn't have a value there. Because if you were to select it right here, it says it shows a value. So it does throw a free trader into the build queue. So that's where those traders are coming from. They are from the economic text. It's just that you can't cancel them for resources, but you can probably just cancel them if you wanted to.
Ordines.
Oh, Pink is now realizing he's seen the Chamber of Commerce. Now going to be trying to raid the trade line. Scout will spot it. Though the trader may have not spotted the scout. Royal Knights charging forward. Does find one of these villagers there. That wounded villager does escape on there. Does not have textiles research just yet. Blue's not falling back. Scout will maintain this area. He definitely has seen a trader. Whether or not if the players realize he's seen a trader is another question. Royal Knights charging forward. Does get some good damage there. Royal Knights falling on back. And Scout does go down for Pink, which is important. Trader moving around. Of course, he can activate to trade for other resources to the French. We do also have the siege engineers activate or being researched by Blue. He may be eyeing to crack his opponent's front base, well, front of his base with some battering rams. Doggo getting some fights there. One fast chivalry research. He does have chivalry research there, so if he falls back, he gets some good health regen. Trying to go for another outpost here from the network of castles. Longbowmen do find a good volley there. Good spotting from the scout. Town center is garrisoned up by, I think, some wounded Royal Knights, I believe. Oh, no, Chivalry's on the build queue now, so it's still on the build queue. I didn't see it up here because being researched by this stable there. Hack damage now being researched by the English player. You have all of his blacksmith research. Only hack damage research right now for the French. Going for pierce armor now. And there's a chivalry healing up these Royal Knights. Though right now the French player is up top cap, bit of oversight. One trader does go down. He does of course have a handful of traders providing some extra income. both players do not have a second town center, so these traders are important to buy extra resources.
Siso, mess.
We do have this battering ram now deployed on the field. Let's throw these other Royal Knights in there. There's a lot of health regenerating Royal Knights in there. He has a lot of wounded Royal Knights. Of course, he can pop out with the Royal Knights at that battering ram, which he is. And destroying these houses is actually a bit important because the French player needs those housing. These traders need to not advance in this region just yet. There's all these berries there, a little bit inefficiently, however. Battering has set ablaze that house. He does have a bit of extra population space to work with. Raiders being retasked to this side of the map. Very nice. Royal Knights making their advance, trying to find another engagement against these villagers. Outposts are not upgraded at the moment. Though he does have enough Royal Knights here to force that outpost down, but he's still going to get overran by this large number of longbowmen. He just need to back out of this region, but not go too far, or else the traders will be spotted. Battering ram now hitting the town center there. I wonder if he saw that trader moving over the right. As he got that longbowman there, this trader not getting hit by a scout, not a huge problem. This is a sizable army here.
Yes, sir.
He has 41 archers, there's currently 37 longbowmen in the field, 22 spearmen. No villagers right there. These Royal Knights receive quite a bit of beating there from those longbowmen. Still moving around. Do have these spearmen and longbowmen still dancing around, and Pink is going to be eyeing for a counterattack. Blue could eye for a counterattack himself. He does have quite a bit of wood stored up, and he could perhaps supply a pair of battering rams. And we got spearmen now trying to camp with that trade post there. In fact, since there's one trader there, that could give, it does go a false sense of direction for Blue. Since his traders, most of his other traders actually going to the other trade post. But it's there onto these archers. Pink is unable to do any sort of damage. Of course, he does have a superior number of villagers out in the field, or civilians, I should say. And thanks to the fact that a good number of traders, he will maintain some good gold income. Though the French will have much better economy with these farms as well. So overall, the economy is probably the same. Because English farms are pretty good. Each one of these farms provide more food collection than deer. He's also been doing a good job of collecting up all these fishies in the center of the map. He's going to take time to torch down some of these other outposts there. Very nice. Blue Scout could go down. Does find a good volley there on that scout. Does stay alive. The outpost has been set ablaze, so given enough time, it will burn down. Blue's maintaining his army is one location, which allows Pink's smaller armies to go around and hit two different locations. However, he will have trouble defending this region. He could throw his units inside the town center to get its arrows firing. At this point in time, the arrow damage from both of the town center would be greater than the archers individually, but the attack speed probably won't be as great. But if you get a survivable fighting position, that's probably a bit better than having dead archers. So we've got a good number of traders trading along the side of the map for the French. French has a good amount of wood stored up. He may want to retask some of these guys onto other sources of resources. More battery rams going up, as well as an outpost. Pink needs to withdraw his army right now. He sees the outpost there. He probably doesn't see the battery rams just yet. But when the batteries can start pushing forward, he really would need that army in the back line.
Its bears pulled on.
3 battery rams not pushing way forward. He's going to have some hard time dealing with it. He has a good number of Royal Knights to fight them, but there's a lot of escort here, including the spearmen and longbowmen. Trying to regroup his force here. He has 13 Royal Knights in this region. House does go down, does put the French player on pop cap as well. And these battery rams are sort of left alone. You could perhaps try to rush forward some villagers, try to torch them down. Longbowmen now trying to pursue this force over here. And he is mainly building traders as well. So the French player is trying to just go for a trade-based gold income. Royal Knights charging forward. One of them does get spear bracing killed off there. Archers against forward, trying to get some good damage on the longbowmen. There are more French archers here than longbowmen, plus longbowmen are higher quality than archers. Spearman now charging forward. If he's able to do the spearman, the Royal Knight's able to engage a bit better. Does get a good charge attack there. Battery Rams trying to charge forward as well, trying to draw some fire. They have a lower target priority there, so they're not doing a good job of drawing fire. But they are interrupting movement. Spearman charging forward as well, trying to stop these Royal Knights from advancing forward. But the archers just generally just aid moving forward. Royal Knight does over here does go down. These Royal Knights trying to charge back in once again. A handful of English spearmen still remains. Both sides military are rapidly decreasing, but relatively at the same rate. Town center may want to be garrisoned right there. And looks like Blues loses some fight there. Blues reinforcements still shooting across the map, while Pink's reinforcements are here. And Pink's now trying to pursue a lot of these longbowmen. Good start step there. A little bit overkill, however. He may want to do stop commands rather than attack commands. Spearman charging forward as well. A lot of overkill there. And now Blue's army is falling back. Pink still has a significant army. He's going to pursue his opponent. And he does have, of course, all these traders going along the flanks. Villagers now trying to collect some of these fishies. There's actually not. That's not a great spot for a mill. A single fish deposits here. That's not quite a lot of fish. And these villagers are trying to pursue these battering rams. The French player has plenty of wood. He needs to perhaps utilize it and stop collecting it. He does have a good, not really a good amount to age up with. The English player does have a massive reserve of gold. Granted, he's been pulling out a force that doesn't require gold. He does get some main arms out in the field. They do great in good large numbers, but in small numbers can be focused on by all the French archers. Does have his pierced armor research, as opposed to opponent's pierced damage as well, so these archers should do 2 damage per arrow. Now the French decided to collect up some of these fishies in the center of the map. And Blue does wall this region, and this map as well. The trade post in the corner of the map, so both are relatively sure this one's a little bit more close to his opponent, based on his map being, his town center being more on the right side of the map. But since he is not protecting this trade route there, he's able to get away with this trade. Pink should start eyeing to really secure up the right side of the map to make sure his trade is permanently secure. But keeping his opponent in his base is also a good way to keep your trade secure. He may also want to send over something to deal with all these wolves. Royal Institute now being pulled on the field, which of course allow him access to some advanced technologies early on. I think that's various infrastructure in the center of the map. He's doing a good job of collecting up all these resources on the map as well, rather than relying on farms. The English player, of course, is usually incentivized to go to the farms because of how powerful they are. Especially when he gets up to the next age, or when he gets up to Imperial Age, then you basically have a very good gold generation as well. Do now have the next age for the French. The English player is now going to the King's Palace. There's another town center. He's eyeing to get out some more villages. Probably going to be good. The French player has a good number of traders on the field. He may want to eye not to pull out more traders just yet, relying on any of the free traders that come out from the Chamber of Commerce. He could also torch down these palisade walls there, thinking misdirecting his opponent once again in order to think that he's trying to reestablish trade on this side of the map. But honestly, it's probably still a good idea to establish a presence on this side of the map as well, because look at the stone and gold. So Pink should try to expand over here either way. I do not have any free links to any sort of game. I don't pirate anything myself. Longbow now engaging these Royal Knights, receiving a bit of damage. Looks like going to try to charge on in. It's very congested there, which is good for ranged forces, but both players are mostly R. He does not connect with any of those longbowmen there. Those archers receive a bit of damage. Got now the veteran archer research and pierce damage being researched as well. Of course, we already got the veteran archer here. The veteran longbowman's on the way. No additional pierce damage on the build queue. Now going active for the merchant guilds there. Get some gold generation for his traders. And his forces not being pursued into this one's base. Townsend is fully garrisoned, so we'll eventually get some good damage on these archers, as long as it's not hitting the Royal Knights. Spear in the Valley advance forward does get some damage to those Royal Knights. Royal Knights still pose a massive problem for the English player. Townsend arrows are currently doing 8 damage and 10 damage times 2. But this village is trying to run away now, but there's no more space in the town center, so they're just running to their doom. We've lost a significant number of villagers. Knight does go down. And this is probably going to be end of blue, losing so many villagers. Pink is killed for right now 36 villagers. Pink's army will be cleaned on up. Blue may stick around for a little bit longer. But now here comes the Royal Knights. Trying to hit down some of these spearmen. Blue's trying to outplot some crossbowmen to deal with these Royal Knights as well. Another Royal Knight does go down, takes that crossbow, spearman poking away. He does not have the Royal Bloodlines research, so it does not have increased health. More Royal Knights pushing forward, archers as well. And Blue decides to back out of the game as well, just lost too many villagers. This is Anagreat saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay. And I believe that was the last replay, decent length replay I can cast from him, so let's go ahead and find another player. This name may be a little bit too common. Maybe not. Not him. This is the one. Has to be some sort of Smurf account. Don't recognize this player. 17 minutes. 17 minutes. 14 minutes. 14 minutes. 12 minutes. 21 minutes. 24 minutes, so we could do this one here. 14 minutes. 26 minutes. And 17 minutes. So we got a couple here we can do. Thank you. Get some good rest. The rest of the live stream will be here for when you wake up during workday. Greetings everyone, Anagreat here with another Age of Empires 4 replay. Spawn on top right side as the yellow Mongols, we have the dog. Spawn on bottom left side as the green English, we have Lashish. How do you pronounce that?
Here works.
Plus he's going to get some gold because of the sheep. Not big surprise. Over here we do have, he does deploy out stone, the ovo. Does get enough wood for early pasture as well to increase his wood income. Though usually on this map, it's probably a good idea not to go for the fast pasture. You got some force puppers there. Going for outposts here as well. He's going a little bit too aggressive on defense probably. That's the English Scout, and there's no main arms being put on the field. Now do have the Abbey Kings being put on the field. Since he's spent so much wood on collecting up this, putting up this various other infrastructure, it's going to be a bit hard to, a bit delayed on his age up. Got the silver tree there. He could perhaps bring back the column here, push the deer towards the gear for better collection rate, and so that way he doesn't have to redeploy, build another gear, since they're really expensive at 50 rather than other civilizations just 50. It costs a full 100, I should say. The pack up and redeploy mechanic is really a gimmick since of how much of a pain in the butt it is to redeploy gears. Since if you're trying to redeploy a gear in the wood line, there's a 50% chance if you don't do it right, it will just prevent you from actually redeploying it. Because it's not forceful enough to evacuate units around it. Stable going up. He does have nearly 400 stone, so could get out 2 times 2 Keshiks, which would be even more than plenty to overrun the king. And you have to be very careful. Something I've noticed as well, the Council Hall and the Abbey Kings look very similar, so you have to really pay attention. Trying to pick up a lot of this deer, very nice. Now we got feudal age for the Mongol. Do have not enough food and gold for the Keshiks just yet. Going for wheelbarrow, as well as some arrow slits. The Khan's providing some good reconnaissance. And you will see the outpost there. The English player can go for some early palisade walls there. There's some easy choke points from the tie up. On patrolling around, do have a barracks here. I think he did spot the stables, so he knows he's probably going to be fighting against some Keshiks. We do got a times 2 Keshik on the build queue. He has enough stone for another times 2 Keshik. And the deer are pretty tightly congested there. Silver Tree could take time to pack up, move over here. It can move into the Fog of War, so you can use it to find its own location and place down. And then you can start eyeing for some early traders. The Silver Tree course allows you to pull out traders for a little less than 100 total resources, as well as a pretty fast rate as well. It's a little less efficient, resource efficient than pulling out villagers, collecting out resources, but it is something that is free from easily accessed, not necessarily free from landmark, as opposed to Mongols' town centers, which cost 900 as opposed to opponents' 750 combined resources. Looks like both sides being a little bit passive. The king is... That's the scout. Where's the king? There's the king. And we'll find the Keshiks. Keshiks, they may be inferior to on 1v1 versus a king, but on 2v1, they of course can easily kill him. Got these Keshiks now advancing forward. We do have a handful of spearmen being put on the field. He has 4 at the moment. The Khan does spot these spearmen here. Now the king is running down the hill away from these Keshiks. These Keshiks are advancing forward. There's a single spearman here. And does get a charge attack there, but they really didn't bug out. I think he retasked him a little bit too early, but does get some damage on those villagers, but no kills. We do have some archers now being put on the field by the Mongol. Trying to pull out some archers here to deal with these spearmen. Thank you for... That's why YouTube subscription. Welcome to the channel. Keshiks charging on forward. Does get a good damage charge there onto the king. There's 5 Keshiks here. There's 6 spearmen here. He may be able to deal with the king. He could potentially deal with these spearmen, but it won't be a pretty engagement. The king does fall back severely wounded, but the Abbey Kings can of course heal him up quite nicely. A little bit of damage on one of these spearmen as well. Plus one from the Khan's arrow. Now I do got a handful or a couple archers now pushing out with these Keshiks. It take a bit of time for them to pick off the spearmen for him. We do also have a horseman here as well. And now he has to report a silver tree there with getting some traders out on the field. It'll take a bit of time for these traders to start providing some income. And once it gets up to 15 traders, it will provide him an excellent resource income for all resources. Keshiks are some trapped in the corner there. Does lose from the Keshiks there. Does get a swipe there, but losing too much health there on these Keshiks. Archers being pursued, does lose one of the archers there. Not a great engagement for the Mongol player. Horseman now trying to overrun these horses. He can't really stand and fight against this horseman because he has to be careful of those spearmen. Does take out one of the horsemen there. And the Mongol player will escape on out of there. Let's take a little longbowman there. Not longbowman. Dog. What was I thinking longbowman? Ugh, my mind's scattered. We do now have the English player now in Castle Age. Went for a fast King's Palace. Archer's now engaging. Does get a good volley there on one of those spearmen. Mongol player is still pretty far from going next age. He just invested quite a bit into gold. He's going for a large number of Keshiks. If he's going to be this aggressive, he does cancel with them and get out a ×2 Keshik. Very nice. Going out for more wood there. He does have 2 pastures here. Only one isn't. Both of them are influence of the Ovo, so he does have up to 8 villagers worth of sheep collection. But this does still have some spare sheep lying around. Not on the ground though. They're standing on their own. Archers just get some good damage there onto the spearmen. Right now the English player won't be able to utilize this castaway just yet if it's going to keep on applying pressure like this. There's an opportunity that he sees those villagers. He sees a very exposed villager. Now he's really tempted to go on in. There's the Keshiks now charging forward. There are 13 villagers there. Does not find any of those villagers. Need to back on off of here. We're seeing a lot of arrow fire now. When the Keshiks do go down, archers here, they can get some damage over the trees. Got some knights now pulling field. They're of course much higher quality than these Keshiks. Does use a speed arrow right there, needs to run away. Does the King's Palace. There's also an outpost here. That's going to be a lot of arrow fire coming down on him. He's just got to run. There's palisade walls over here as well. He's palisade wall in here. He's now completely trapped in here. He's going to lose all these Keshiks. That is going to be a big loss. Palisade walls have gone up. The villagers just need to sort of avoid in the path of these Keshiks. I go for a palisade gate here. Probably to hold off until this army's down. The Khan has down. Going for the Kurultai now. Right now, Yellow does have a superior number of workers thanks to all these traders. He currently has 10 traders in the field, so he does have access to the Tier 2 Silk Road, providing 20% extra resources. A little bit of food and wood. The Kurultai is going up. The Kurultai can be both a good offensive defensive landmark. In my opinion, it's incredibly good at defense. It provides you a very good power spike as well as good health regen. While on offensive, it's mostly good for your siege works, such as the traction trebuchets and mangonels. Able to bombard them for extra damage. Bombard with them for extra damage. Do now the veteran Keshik research there. Ovo is now depleted. You will need to pull out some more pastures either way. He does not have a whole lot of wood at the moment. Does find these traders here. Does lose a couple of these traders. These traders need to be cast away. They're going to be foolishly thrown away. There's a good number of these spearmen here as well. These Keshiks are not going to have a good engagement here. He will lose his traders. These traders need to fall back. Can't be losing these traders like this. The archers now advancing forward to help him clear out this region. Prototyping, retasking this region. Finds a volley there. Needs to make sure he's targeting the spearman. Looks like he is targeting the spearman. Gotta make sure these archers stay alive. Keshik's messy engagement here. I think yellow has superior position. I think most of those spearmen now down. No, there's a significant number right there. The con has been redeployed. Now you can use the fence air on this region. Traders, some of them being picked on off. Does send over a single knight over here, hitting more traders. Has a couple crossbows now on the field, able to hit these knights a bit more significantly. Knight and the kings are falling back. Does get a good volley there onto that spearman. Keshik trying to pursue these forces, but I don't think Keshik should pursue any further. With this guy here, civilian count quite similar. The king's house is full on the field, so both sides will have access to additional civilians. He's not building any more traders at the moment. He's down to 6. He lost a good number of them. Redeploying the Kurultai next to his gold deposits. Looks like the Mongol player got lucky in his gold deposit location. Gold, and stone here. This is a pretty tight amount of gold, while the opponent's gold is a little bit... Sure, he has some here, but also spawned out more in the center. Just now forcing back the knight. Usually like to do is blame the Mongols. I like to get out a couple barracks and start queuing up some spearmen to be at the end points here. Because most people, when they try to raid their trade, they send horsemen or knights or lancers to the end points. If you have just a handful of spearmen there, it dissuades them. Just keep a small little garrison of spearmen there, and you can pull them off later when you need them actually on the front line. This archer force may get hit. Keshik's now engaging close range. It's going to be a messy fight for both players. But looks like the archers will be stay alive. Crossbows firing away. Archers getting some hits there. Does lose the king there. Green will go down. Most of the Keshiks went down as well. Let's pick off another knight there as well. Just leaving mostly horsemen. Knight can be focused down. Does have the Kurultai here, giving these guys much needed damage, which will help overcome the higher pierce armor of these units, which the veteran horsemen right now have 5 pierce armor. These archers have not been upgraded, so they only have 6 damage, so they're doing 1 damage each versus these horsemen. And he's not building any more horsemen, he's going straight for crossbows, but still you want to get some more damage. If the English player continues building horsemen, that'd be a great composition against the mass crossbows the Mongol players going for. The Kurultai does affect the crossbows a little bit better with the... Actually, no, they will affect them a little bit better since it does provide 2 damage rather than just the 1. Of course, the attack speed is a little bit slower. Overall, provides them a pretty good DPS buff. Also got some good health regen there. Right now, Yellow has a larger military force in the field. Both players had 67, 68 civilians. Here are more traders here. He currently, soon he'll have 15. Very good. And that will give him a great bump in his trade economy. Y'all see all these horsemen there. You may want to get out some spearmen. And the spearmen do take out those Keshiks as well. Does get a good number of crossbows as well. But right now, it seems like the Mongol players should go for more horsemen and spearmen at the moment. A couple archers wouldn't hurt as well. Magandai, overall, in my opinion, are not very good. Only in Pillar Age, when you get their range increases, will actually become viable. But in Castle Age and Feudal Age, they're not really viable. Got this force now rotating around. Good number of horsemen and crossbowmen with a couple spearmen. Very vulnerable to opposing large force of horsemen, which right now he has none.
He'll do
He's
that.
getting out more times two Keshiks. He's going for hack damage and pierce armor, and now some more pierce damage. He does have 2 blacksmith on the field. Now that those Keshiks pushing forward, trying to hit these reinforcements. Keshiks now engaging the horsemen. They're still getting the crossbows here. We got this force advance forward, including the Kurultai. And engaging this force here does save his trade from being harassed. We do have, looks like a couple stuff here. He needs to go for an outpost along the back line. Yes, he does. That will greatly increase his trade even more. Kurultai being redeployed right there. He's trying to hit the trade once again. He knows what he's trying to do. Outposts being built. We'll provide some good spotting, but it'll take a bit of time for it being built. We got these gold miners trying to go on up. Kurultai being redeployed. Gear pushing way forward as well. Does 9 turret replacement with gear, which is actually important because it could easily be cancelled right there without his knowing. Horseman charging forward, trying to run on forward. Kurultai is now up and going, getting some great damage increase there, allowing them to pick off Horseman quite easily. You have now these traders to be hit once again. He's back in the corner there. Zaldago does get focused down. He does have a scout in the region, but is getting warded away. Over here, we got a bit of a green force here, intercepting all of these reinforcements. Yellow's losing a lot of forces there. The king does go down there, does use the defense arrow there. I don't know if he has increased defense or duration. No, he does not. Only have the 5-second duration. Horseman overwhelming this range force here. It's not looking good for the Mongol players, losing his reinforcements. He's still losing his reinforcements. And is losing his army over here as well. Keshik's now pushed on forward, able to overwhelm this force. He will save his trade line, which is very critical, but did lose a lot of reinforcements here. He needs to retask his reinforcements come over here. Keshik's able to get some good health regen with his swipes. A couple crossbows still remaining, can't be losing any more Keshiks necessarily. We do have another deployed out here. He's only got the faster movement. Oh, looks like if I saw that correctly, he's probably getting 77 gold, 7 wood, and 7 food per trade. Yep. Horseman and Spear advancing on forward. Need some more horse over here. But now this trade line's going to be hit significantly. His reinforcements coming over here. Got these horsemen advancing forward as well, hitting this gold line. Green is hitting him in multiple locations at once. That's supposed to be the Mongols' job. Going to be losing a large number of villagers and a good number of the traders. A significant hit there. Does lose a good number of these villagers. Only one villager gets inside the garrison. That could be overwhelmed, but he's going straight for the trade line. Trader does go down there. Keshik's charging forward, but they're getting picked off by these crossbows. More Keshik's charging forward. We've got these forces advanced forward. He's not retasked these forces here. And go from arrow slits is not really valuable to go for arrow slits on those. Even spring golds, since you can't get fortified outposts, they don't last all too long. Does save that trade caravan there. These forces will be cleaned on up. The yellow is losing more traders over here. A couple archers in this region. Got another sizable army here. Crossbows hitting these forces. Yellow's now down a significant number of workers compared to his opponent. And it's also a big problem with that silver trade. It's a double-edged sword. It can't provide you a good amount of resources. It's really population efficient going for traders over for villagers. But yet, it is so easy to punish. His forces trying to engage on in, but these Keshiks being quickly focused down by those crossbows. Got Green has a sizable army here. Maganel now going to get hit as well. Town Center could get some arrows firing off, but these are nice. They have 6 pierce armor, so the damage output they will send out is minimal. Does go and torch down this outpost there, but does go ahead and lose his Keshiks. In comparison, the big economic bonuses between these two factions. The English, of course, have access to incredibly powerful farms. Pastures cost a lot of wood. They are slightly more efficient, but don't improve gathering rates. So overall, the English farms are much more better than pastures by far. And as you get more economic techs, you're going to more pastures than you could than you usually need for farms. And overall, the collection bonuses that the Mongols get do not cost an incredibly large amount of stone in order to get those resources. That's why most people just get out military units. You basically get a constant 2 to 3 villages of stone production just for extra units, and it's not that significant. In the Silver Tree, is basically you're forced down the Silver Tree line in order to get out additional economy, because if you try to go for another town center, you're paying more. You also pay more for the gears. The Mongols' benefits are very, very weak. Kurultai not being redeployed right there to help him provide a good defensive point there. The oval is out of stone, so he's going to need that rebuilt either way. And now the trade line's going to get hit once again. They got a number of crossbows here, but there's not any armored targets here. So now these traders are going to hit once again. It's a good volley there for the crossbows. So let's picking apart these horses. Over here, we've got these horse advance forward. Does have a Maginot here with Kurultai. That's going to do some great damage there. Does pull out some early horsemen. That's still early horsemen. Doesn't have the regular horseman research there. It's good volley there with the Maginot, improved by the Kurultai, improves its own damage by 20%. But overall, the Mongol army is receiving quite a bit of damage there. Rolls and misses with the Maginot. Spearman could advance forward. Another Maginot and the Khan advancing forward. And Yellow's army just gets annihilated there. He has 15 military units at the moment. His opponent has 61. And Yellow does back out of the game now. Just lost too much to the traders. For the Mongols, it's always uphill battle the entire game. As Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. And before I start the next replay, I do need his restroom. I'll be right back. One moment, please. I am back. Let's see now. He had another replay of like 26 minutes, right? Right one? Nope. Here it is. Let's see. Not this one. Not that one. Not that one. Maybe it didn't. 21 minutes was a little bit short. And this is the one I was referring to, 24 minutes. Greetings everyone, and Grade here of another Age of Empires 4 replay. Spawn on top of the right side as a Saiyan Mongols, we have the dog. Well, on bottom left side as the blue English, we have Kaiser, Joanne. Mongols versus English. The English, of course, have access to longbowmen as well as some early and vanguard man-at-arms,
Here work.
which also went for an early farm here as well. Trying to prolong his food collection rate, he will need to take time to build out. Yep, he does have enough wood to get out a
Yaru. Here
additional
works.
lumber camp there. The English farms, of course, is significantly cheaper as well. And the farms and the sheep do get collected at the same rate. Later on, he can always improve the farm collection rate with a nearby mill. He could push it a little bit farther away, so care to look at these berries as well. Council Hall going on up. Up here does go from outpost, and now trying to collect the gold as well. The outpost is really not needed, but oh, I did not realize this. I got some early horsemen there. It does pick off a villager nice and early. Early horsemen only have one pierce armor, so they cannot withstand council fire whatsoever. So let's pick up one of those villagers there. He does get out the council hall. He does have enough gold. Plenty of gold actually in reserve. This is going out for barracks as well. You can't deploy out spearmen in feudal age. Only man-at-arms as for the English. But man-at-arms are still going to be very useful versus these early horsemen. But now you can get out a spearman to help poke away this horse. Silver Tree now being pulled out on the field. There's some good trade possibility here. You got a nice clear line of path here. And it also has 2 deer deposits here, so it's a bit more natural to pull out an gear here and outpost, and that outpost can be useful later on for your trade. So he does have good locations for the deer, which will correlate with good trade. Does get out early pasture here to help improve his sheep production. It's actually, in my opinion, a good idea to push back the pasture by 1 tile away from your town centers, because sometimes when your villagers dance around trying to get the sheep, do completely go around the pastures. And sheep can walk. Make them walk. We do have a couple of spearmen here and long bows. The columns from advancing forward. We also got wheelbarrow being researched by the Mongol player now.
Let us escort. Yes, sir.
On receive a bit of damage there. And it looks like the English player is being a little bit defensive at the moment. And there we go, got the mill there, but he doesn't exactly put it too close to the berries to help try to combine it. But of course, you can always go for another mill over here and collect the berries that way. He does knock out the Khan's sheep that was following him. He's led that sheep to his doom. Now the Khan's going to be running around trying to find another escape out of there. We got a good number of longbowmen here and spearmen. We got a line of economic text being researched from the Mongol player. He's going for the eco style. He does have more archers being put on the field. Does get, I think also Luskia is going for 2x2 archers. So he's spending all of his, or may have been times 3 times 2 archers. So he is going for spending his stone onto these early archers. He does have a bit of stone still sort of as well. If he puts a gear nearby, he can always improve these current economic techs. Though it is quite expensive. It's 150 stone in order to get the basic ones, but going for these basic ones at least pretty good. They do pay out quite early. While the next layer of research, you can see here, the next one does cost 350 in total resources. The next ones do cost 350 stone. While ones following that is like 700 in total, so you need basically 700 stone for that. Yeah, the Mongols always have an uphill battle. They don't get any real good economic benefits other than the no need for housing, which at this point in time is saving him about, a house is what, 50 wood. So it's right now saved him about 250 wood. Not a whole lot, honestly, compared to his opponent. Because soon, this farm will be collecting at a resources will be collecting at an incredibly high rate. We have some traders now being pulled on the field. The scout does spot this. Blue Could Eye harassing it. He does have a sizable ground army.
Let us escort.
Guys right now just pulling out mass archer. And Simon really should eye collecting up these deer relatively early, but he's going straight for pastures. I disagree with that, because he can combine placing down a gear and a outpost here to help combo the two to go along with the trade as well. And deer gets collected up at a pretty good rate. Does go for a large number of pastures here. That is 600 wood worth of pastures. Khan does go down there, catch to see a bit of fire there. And in comparison to English as well, these farms cost 37 each. They're incredibly cheap even compared to other farms as well. So, one pasture is able to work for 3 villagers. These farms are not only cheaper than pastures in total, but with nearby mill, they also provide more than even deer. English farms are incredibly powerful. They should not, in my opinion, receive a discount on farms. They already provide a large amount of food benefits.
Idzie próg kiedat.
It does currently have 5 pastures here that can support up to 15 villagers worth of collection. Now got the sizable force advancing on forward. Blue trying to get some outposts around, not only for spotting, but also for the network of castles. Does get engagement there. Spearman will find a massive hit there on these Keshiks. Keshiks have received quite a bit of fire there. You may want to find a palisade wall and start torching it down to get some health. Early man-at-arms deployed on field. They of course have 3/3 armor, so they can withstand a large beating from these archers. But it does have +1 pierce damage, so they're doing 3 damage per arrow rather than just 2. A 50% increase. Now blue is going to either hit the trade line. If it hits the trade line, that will severely hurt the Mongol player. Keshik's charging forward with the support of a scout. New Khan has been put in field. This will help increase having the arrow benefit to help increase the rate of fire of these archers for 5 seconds. So basic gets him out 1 extra volley of arrows. Nothing too significant, honestly. The Khan will also help him spot these forces. This Keshik could charge forward as well. There's a large number of man-at-arms in this region as well. He does not... He's gained pierce armor on this as well. This will reduce the damage output by the Mongol archers by 50%. There's a bit of time window for the English player to receive a lot of damage from these archers. Does get the armor research complete there. The Keshik's now engaging as well. Does get the front line there, so now just a longbowman. The Keshiks should be able to deal with these longbowmen, give enough time. Does hit a deer there, misclick. Does take out a couple of traders. 3 of the traders go down. And these longbowmen have been pursued, and they will be destroyed. Try to get the Khan before they go down, but they're unsuccessful. 5 civilians have gone down for Cyan. Only 2 have gone down for blue. Yeah, something garrison inside this outpost. I'm not sure what it is. See, it's no idle villagers, not a villager. Could it be that 1 scout? Yes, the Cyan player has 2 scouts in the field. There's at least 1 right here. There's the other, so I'm not sure what's inside this outpost at the moment. Could be that early horseman. I haven't seen him in a bit of time. And it's not in this armory, so it must be the early horseman. This force is pushing forward. Is good enough archers to hit these scouts, or not scouts, spearmen, and hit the scouts, and hit the longbowmen. Does use the arrow resource there. Does go ahead and dissipate almost instantaneously. So I'm trying to fall him back, trying to get some good damage there. Does take on another scout. All the scouts do go down. He's trying to hit the men-at-arms. He needs to make sure to hit those spearmen so the Keshiks can push it forward. But blue doesn't actually have any spearmen. Its archers need to hit those longbows. The Keshiks can deal with this man-arms. Both take a bit of time. Keshiks do 16 damage at 4/4 armor at the moment, while the man-arms do have 3/4 armor and 10 damage. A little less health as well, but of course they're much cheaper than Keshiks as well. Keshiks are the best way for the Mongols to deal with the man-at-arms. The English player needs to probably pull out a bit of a spearman to mix in the man-at-arms, just honestly, because I'll help them hit those Keshiks as they hit the man-at-arms. Sign's now forming up, trying to apply some pressure there. It does keep his opponent crowd in his face as he gets more traders in the field. He has 10, so he does have a bit of extra income coming on in. Archers doing a bit of damage there. Looks like this wolf will be taken out by the scout. There may be a breach here relatively soon if the villagers keep on collecting up that wood. These villagers may just want to be taxed off that wood and perhaps find another deposit of wood over here.
Let us go. Et Hilda!
Villagers trying to go for another outpost here for spotting purposes. The Khan is still in this area, able to find some good spotting, does have 10 Keshiks and a good number of archers. And now the Sign player is now eyeing to collect up some of these forest puppies. He is getting survival techniques research. He can go for some outposts to help protect the villagers and to help the trade in all in one. Does use the arrow deployment there, giving some extra arrows firing. Blue's front line is starting to disintegrate. He needs to get out the improved arrow research to really increase the damage output of his archers. This is where most of his damage is coming from at the moment. Man-at-arms have been mostly cleaned on up. Science now advancing forward, trying to hit the longbowmen. Hit some of the man-at-arms as well. There's only a couple Keshiks remaining. Over here, that's just a horseman hitting those traders. A couple spearmen do get deployed out of the field, but they quickly get focused down along with the man-at-arms. All the Keshiks are now down. The English player needs to pull out some more man-at-arms at current rate. He does have a good food collection being pulled on out thanks to these mills. Able to collect them at a faster rate than even deer. Got multiple horsemen here. A single Keshik is trying to stop these horsemen. Let's take the column there as well, which does deny a lot of vision. Blue's now trying to go for outposts here, not only for spotting, but also for the network of castles. He does pull out some palings there while at it. Very nice. Horsemen being chased on away. Does not appear they got any of these traders. Currently has 17 in the field, so it does have maximum benefits. Keshik now trying to hit these trader or horsemen now. This Keshik needs to go on a patrol move. Right now, Sign has a sizable force on the field, 79 versus 53.
Yes.
Got a gear being put out right there. He needs to go for an outpost for spotting. Right now he's having trouble seeing this area. He does have a pair of scouts deployed on the field. I'm not sure where they're at. Looks like over here is one. Archers trying to advance them forward. One of them does get picked off by the longbowman. Blue does have a scout in this region for spawning purposes. Does have 10 men at arms and 5 spearmen as well. Has a good number of Keshiks here, so there's not enough spearmen to stop these Keshiks. Does get a good charge there. Got a massive melee. Science Archers in general aim move forward. It's probably a good idea to help them hit everything. Too many archers there to really to micro around. If you micro too much, you have to grab a small part of them so you don't overkill stuff. And Sign will overrun Blue's force, who's not withdrawing from the area. Let's get the network of castles now activated there. Man-at-Arms still gains some good damage there. They take a lot of abuse. English player does have enough gold to age up, just need a lot more food. The Mongol player does have a good amount of gold as well. He does have more civilians out in the field thanks to all those traders. Basically an equivalent to another town center. We got this wolf now biting these villagers. Kurultai now being employed out as well. It is being employed out right here to help him provide a good defensive or offensive strong point. Seeing the position he's in the game, a good offensive point wouldn't be half bad. The English player is powered to age up as well. He probably will go for the King's Palace. There is a big breach here. The King's Palace not being employed out right there. When the Kurultai is complete, he's going for Siege Engineers and Improved Siege Engineers. Nope, just regular Siege Engineers. Improved Siege Engineers is really nice. He'll pull out Mangonel. Going for Veteran Archer, Veteran Keshik, and Pierce Armor. Is Ovo. Has he redeployed out as Ovo somewhere? Right over here. And now he's also going for the Whistling Arrow as well. Very, very important. We got that a long time ago. He's also going for the Raid Bounty. This is a good time to get it, because once you start destroying opponent's buildings, it actually provides a decent amount of money in return. 150 resources is a significant amount, especially when the English tend to pull out outposts everywhere. That give you a nice little boon there. Got all these horsemen charging forward, trying to get these raiders. Does take out that outpost there. Kurultai packing on up, pushes his way forward now. Archers facing forward, gets good damage there. King's Palace partially garrison, gains some damage on in. Those damage outputs not exactly that great. Currently it's at 7 arrows at a pretty slow attack speed. Takes some good hits there onto these. He's hit these farms. He's going to torch down anything. Go for the farms. He does have, I suppose, Raid Bounties on the next thing in the queue, so he doesn't have that just yet. Archers actually hitting these farms is not a good idea. They don't have any good armor. They do actually have a lot of pierce armor. They just don't have a good amount of health. Keshik's backing off. We're seeing a bit of fire from these forces. Does get the Kurultai flowing field, gains some massive health regen and damage output on everything here. Now does get the arrow, the defense arrow there, giving everything +2/+2 armor for a short amount of time, giving these veteran archers 4 pierce armor for 12 seconds, able to negate half the damage from the veteran longbowman. And right now the Kurultai nearby do have 10 damage, and the English player does back out the game now. Unable to harass that trade line successfully enough. This is Anagrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Let's see now. Let's go ahead and find another player. Hidden. See, I see a Smurf account related to this one. Try a Smurf account after we try this one here. Hidden. Hidden. Outdated. There's not the right one. And outdated. Here we go. Got some replays here. 28 minutes. Let's do it. Greetings everyone, and great here. Another Age of Empires 4 replay. Spawn on the south side as the Blue Abbasid Dynasty, we have Star Flark. Spawn on the right side as the Magenta Malians, we have Gigi Chrysaor. War's got the mining pit going up, getting some extra free gold income, pulling a lot of housing there as well. So I'm gonna collect up some of these sheeple. You may want to eye for cut some people on some of these trees as well. Also losing enough blood on the field, providing some nice little fire armor. We got a lot of gold. He's going for the military wing nice and early. He's probably worried about the warrior scouts. Got the Mansa Quarry being pulled on out. And so I clean up these nearby trees. That should have enough for a lumber mill. Does need to go for a stable. There's the lumber mill now. Stable's been put here. Is going to have some additional warriors or scouts. Does get the warrior scout research as well. We got these spearmen, archers advance forward. Warrior scouts have really high health regen, so if they take a bit of a bad engagement, as long as they stay alive, they can fall back, get some health regen, and re-attack this small little task force. Got more housing here going on up. The mill or mining camp has been started. Right now, this mining pit does provide 86 gold per minute, equivalent to 2 villager income. A little bit more, honestly. So that is a excellent amount of gold being provided. Warrior Scout now hitting this villager there. Villager immediately falls back, does get some arrows onto the Warrior Scout, and still dancing around inside his rate of in its arc of fire. Does get severely wounded, but it's stay alive. 4 Warrior Scouts now put on the field. On this map, there are in groups of 3, so you can go for professional scouts and grab them and bring them back home to get some extra food income. Got a lot of sheep here, no cattle just yet. One house has been set ablaze and does go down. Golden Age Tier 1 has been activated, gaining plus 50% in resource collection rate and for all resources. This warrior scout that was severely wounded is already regenerating half his health. We got him trying to dance forward. Does see a bit of fire there. The wounded one does get trapped there by his buddies. Warrior Scouts do not gain bonus damage versus range until they get the Veteran Warrior Scout. So these Warrior Scouts can't quickly take out these archers just yet. And he's getting hit by these spearmen as well. Horsemen trying to push these Warrior Scouts. Let's take out another Warrior Scout there. They do have good health regen, so they're dancing around like this to get the health regen going. And right now he has 6 Warrior Scouts on the field. Going for another mining pit over here. We don't see professional scouts being researched just yet, but he doesn't have a mill on the field yet to research it. Warrior Scouts do throw some arrows there on the wolf. And the exotic doggo does go down. The really high health regen on these Warrior Scouts up these guys off pretty quickly. By the time they get their opponent's villagers, they're probably almost at full health. We've now got the hardened spearman research for the Abbasid Dynasty players, eyeing for some large number of spearmen to stop these Warrior Scouts. Now I do have cattle farms going up. You really should eye getting out professional scouts relatively soon to grab some of these deer and bring them back home. There's a concealed SDR deposit, and that basically will help replace the what's called sheep and cattle that he may want to use. Warrior Scouts push their way forward as well. Now engaging these horsemen, falls back a little bit there to get some good health regen. It's more housing there. Could probably stand for another lumber camp as well. Archer range, more barracks. This probably should really eye for heavy mount spearmen. Archers, of course, a good soft counter for warrior scouts right now. Trying to get more structures around the mining pit. Does have this one almost fully kitted out. And once this mining pit goes up, does provide 140 gold per minute. So it's equivalent to at least nearly 4 villagers worth of gold collection, which is a significant amount. The thing as well, it's actually pretty cheap to do with this because you still want the housing either way, and it's primarily just paying the cost of the pit and occasionally for the mining camp as well. They have some of these forest puppers. Warrior Scouts, massive number of them charging forward. Will get immediately one of them picked off by the scout or by the spearmen. Gotta be very careful. Gotta pull back the wounded ones. He's not pulling back the wounded ones. He's gonna stand and fight. Does force the counter to get canceled there, falling back. Those spearmen did some good work there. The Warrior Scouts are pretty cheap as well. If you take a look over here, they do cost only 90. The spearmen cost what? 50 in total? They're cheap themselves. Oh, 60, 20, so they're actually 80. So Warrior Scouts only slightly more expensive than those spearmen. Charging forward once again. If he deals with these spearmen, he could be able to overrun these archers. He's going to stand and fight. More reinforced spearmen. He needs to fall back these Warrior Scouts to take a bit of a beating there. And fall back. He's losing too many Warrior Scouts there. Does take out that spearman now. They get a couple extra free pokes there. Now he's trying to hit these archers, and they don't have any bonus damage nor any pierce armor. So they take full damage from these archers. Does get the town center on field. No, overall, not really a good engagement there. Lowe's lose every single Warrior Scout there. Horsemen charging forward. I'm pouring out some barracks now. Like that, I'd go for some Donzo. You always go for the Mustafadi Warrior, which are a anti-armor specialist, but of course his opponent's not going to apply any armor anytime soon. Going for Phalanx there, very nice. Donzo do have one inherent melee armor, as well as that javelin throw ability. Donzo do cost 90 in total, as opposed to the Spearman's 80 in total. A little bit extra wood. Palisade wall is trying going up, does go some of them, does not go all of them time. Some of these villagers may go down. Does spot all these cattle farms there, so it's getting a lot of extra free resources. It does take out that one last villager there, does manage to push down that last palisade wall there and escape. Magenta's pretty far behind in villager count, as with more concerningly the military count at the moment. But of course, he does have access to a lot of extra resources generation. And take a look here, he has double the gold generation, about 300 less the wood generation, and a little bit more in food generation. So the economy is about similar thanks to all the food generation from these cattle ranches and from the mining pits. Of course, the Abbasid Dynasty player gets plus 15% gathering rate for all resources. Let's find another engagement there onto these villagers. He's having trouble locking down these horsemen. Doesn't actually take out that villager there. May lose a villager over here. Does take out lose a villager there. Now the Donzo will take out these horsemen, no problem. 8 villagers have been killed off for Magenta. Now it's going to the Grand Philharmonic Corral, greatly increasing the food generation from these nearby cattle ranches. Nearly doubling it. Like, every single cow provides, what, 28 food per minute? Let's provide additional 20 per minute. So nearly doubling it. But do know as well, this food generation is affected by economic tax, so do go for that. As you can see here, it says 96, which is, I suppose that is 24 times 3. Pretty sure it said it was supposed to be affected by the fertilization technology in a more recent patch. 28 per minute. So that even then that would still be incorrect with the 96 per minute. Because that would be 24 times 3. No, that would be 28 times. I can't do math right now. Well, if I ever see any more economic text, we can always compare back later, see if it does actually improve it like the patch notes said in the more recent patch. It says 96, so we'll just keep an eye on that. Got this sizable army here. The town center arrows are firing. Blue's advancing forward over here. Magenta has a pretty small military force in the field. Now, since in Castle Age, he can go for the veteran warrior scout, which does give him the bonus there versus range, which is very, very important. Let's keep an eye if it does actually provide some pierce armor as well. He's going for some sofas. Can't remember if the veteran warrior scout provides pierce armor or not. If he does bonus damage versus range, probably does provide some pierce armor, but that could be just a wrong assumption. Blue does escape on out of there. Has a line of palisade walls on the right flank, not in the center though. That was interrupted. Warriors got space forward. We've got the veteran sofa as well. Now got the import armor being researched. Does get these villages inside the town center. More villages in the town center as well. The wood lines being brought on off as well. He only has not all the cattle inside the cattle ranches just yet. The villager does go down there. Magenta's force is facing forward here. Does get some javelin throws there, almost taking out one of the villagers. And these villagers sort of just sitting there. Does get the horsemen. And we got this horse now following them back. As for horse slowly being whittled down by the town center arrows. This force not getting hit by this town center and its arrows. Running engaged there. Archers firing away. The spear does get inside the town center there. But of course now the sofas receive a bit damage there. Does get a good surround. Warrior Scouts now trying to hit these villagers. This force has been forcing back. Taking out those couple of veteran sofas. Now the cultural range is almost complete, which will allow him access primarily to the preservation and knowledge technology, as well as access to the composite bow, or he already has military wing researched. This one will make his go into next age significantly cheaper, as well as all other technologies at the point in time where you're probably researching a bunch of them. Best to get that completed before you actually start researching those technologies. Both players in Castle Age, both players can pick up the relics as well as capturing up sacred sites there. Does take out the villager there. Blue so far killed 10 villagers. Magenta's only killed 4. And Blue has been maintaining second 2 town center production, while Magenta's been mostly focused on these free resources from the cattle and the mining pits. Does currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cattle ranches. Needs 7 in order to get the 20 cattle garrisoned. Now I do have the veteran javelin thrower research there. Veteran so pushing way forward. They do have currently 5, 6 armor. And they'll go ahead and try to hit these villagers in the back line now. We've got the sizable force advancing up north. Sofa's trying to hit some more villagers once again. That's wood lines and spear line could get hit significantly. Large number of exposed villagers for blue. Got the sizable force here. Does take out a couple of these villagers. Going to start torching down the mining camp. But a large number of blue's villagers will be going down, being hacked apart by the sofas. He does not have textiles research. More sofas charging this villager line there. Blue's losing a large number of villagers. Does have a large number of villagers garrison. Magic's going to be losing this mining camp. That's probably fine. It's cheaper and quicker to rebuild than most villagers. We got a good number of golems now floated in the field. Takes out a large number of these villagers there, and now we've got these sofas advancing up north. You have a relics being cleaned by blue as well. Very nice. Let's get this village inside that town center. There's still another exposed villager line here. Sofas advancing down south, trying to hit these villagers. We'll find some spearmen there. Does take out one of the sofas. So Gallus Force here does completely pillage this mining camp there and destroy a lot of housing there. The Mauling player is significantly pop cap. There's actually a bit of oversight. He's trying to rebuild this mining camp over here. He may want to try and get a conversion on those villagers. Sofa trying to hit these villagers now. Sofa's advanced forward. Javelin throwers now throwing. Of course, they're hitting spearmen, not the archers. Though javelin throwers do have pretty good pierce armor and just generally good damage, so they still do decent versus spearmen, as well as higher armor targets. Up here, we've got sofas engaging these villagers. A bit of spear brace there, taking out a couple of sofas. Javelin throwers taking out some spearmen there. Villagers backing off, so trying to get some more housing. That does get more housing on the field. Sofa engaging these spearmen, not great engagement, but they are winning out in the long run. These sofas have been cleaned up by these golems. Right now, Magenta has killed 32 villagers for blue. Blue's village count is greatly diminished, and the farming line has been almost completely set up for the Mauling player. He could keep the 2 cattle being collected as for a good amount of resources. Got a line of blue palisade walls here as well. Let's get some good spear throws there onto these archers there. Sofa's getting hit by these Guilloms. Guilloms do have a high attack speed, low damage relatively. They do have 10 damage and a 1.12 attack speed. They do also have a charge attack of 15 damage. And that was a pretty good spear brace there, taking out all those sofas. Javelin throws, advancing forward, get some more spear braces there. Thanks to Phalanx, they get really long-range spear braces. It's really easy to get their spear braces off. More sofas being put on the field. Again, more spear braces. I was able to take out these sofas individually like that. Guilloms falling back. Javelin throwers do have right now 11 damage, so still do some decent damage versus Guilloms. Guilloms spearmen advancing forward. More waves javelin throws here. Does get some more damage. And javelin throwers do also have 6 range, which actually is significant as well. Easy to kite with them. Sofa space forward. Again, another spear base brace. Those Phalanx being very, very effective there. Able to reach behind the back line to get a spear brace, preventing Sofas from engaging in what should be a relatively easy engagement. Mission is not falling back. He's trying to get out more archers. He needs some muscle body warriors to deal with these Guilloms. They're anti-armor specialists. Banner archers right now doing 9 damage. And we do have the another line of collection rate. You see here now the food research does improve the cattle farms max income. Now they're 109 from the 96, which is roughly about a 50% increase, which is the research. We do have some Mangonels being pulled out on the front line. Very nice. And torching down all those housing there. The mine does have the extra housing there. Also has another mining camp going on up. Now he's starting to pull out some Musfadi warriors. Very nice.
آلات الحصار مستعدة. الأوامر قادمة.
Second Mangonel now deployed down the field. This should be very effective for the javelin throwers. Right now it's 54 to 54 military units. The economy is probably very similar as well. Self expansive forward, got some good spear braces there, getting most of them. Archers will see a deadly hit there, losing half his archers. Magno finds a volley there, getting another hit on these archers. They do live the volley, however. Those body warriors, there's still a good number of them on the field, more than being pulled on out. They do have 9 attack, they do plus 15 versus heavy. And those archers now mostly annihilated. Blue's back line is getting hit by these javelin throws. This body warrior is trying to deal with the front line. But overall he's having trouble right now. Right now he could probably stand to use some zone Mangonels. Just getting out some more sofas, more Musfadi warriors, more archers. And now he's going for the poison arrows. Poison arrows just do good damage all across all units. Doing 6 damage over, or 3 damage over 6 seconds, and they do stack. That allows him to hit the Ghulams a little bit harder over time. Mark out some spring goals there. He's worried about any Mangonels that he's going to be applied on the field, but he's not going for any Mangonels. So he's trying to claim that southern gold deposit there. We got this gold deposit slightly being touched by a single villager. He does spot the poison arrows there. You can see by the purple tracer effect. Got these forces advancing on 4, trying to get some good damage there. Knights do get some damage, or Lancers do get some damage on these villagers. They're starting to fall back. Magenta has a small mixed force here. His primary force is falling back there. Mangonel's so pretty out positioned there, so unable to hit this force at the moment. Let's find some hits on this Lancer. It's a lot of poison damage onto him. He should be, yep, does get poison death. This other one could get hit significantly as well. That poison damage will really stack up. Get the poison damage to finish off that Lancer as the other force start advancing on forward. There's a possibility for him to hit these Mangonels there, but does get Spear Bracer there. Massive volleys hitting that archer line. 1 Mangonel does go down. There's still 2 more. Does use Scatter Formation. Finds a good hit there on these archers. Since they're so wounded, even a small hit will take them out by the Mangonels. Good spread damage there. And overall, Magenta's force is getting annihilated by those Mangonels. So we got a Spring Goal in the back line as well. More archers being put on the field. We'll receive some more Mangonel shots there. And this force is way too bunched up. Blue has claimed every single relic as well. That is going to provide an excellent amount of gold. Right now you can see his income is all across the line is pretty good. Less food, much more wood, and this gold, thanks to all those relics, he's going to pull out ahead. Yep, he's leaving 2 cattle outside those cattle ranches there to get good collection rate. They do collect the same rate as deer. Originally they used to collect the same rate as boar, which is far too powerful. Was far too powerful. Lancer charging forward, get some damage there onto these villagers. He's going to lose some of these villagers. He can't be losing them. Got this force falling back, as he does break on through for a brief moment. Mutawadi Warriors gain some great engagement there onto these Lancers. They do, of course, have that extra anti-armor bonus damage. These Lancers will go on down. Mutawadi's charging forward as well. Get some hits there on some of these pylons. Magenta Springald starting to go down. Blue and Magenta both have one Springald remaining. Mangonels could get some deadly hits there. Next volley. Massive hit. Leading through a significant chunk of that army. Sacred Sight's now being captured up by Blue. Springald does get some hits there on the Mangonels. And Magenta does lose his own Springald there. Blue Springald still alive. This force is far too bunched up. Next Mangonel hits going to annihilate this army. It annihilated the army. And Magenta does back up the game as well, unable to deal with these Mangonels. This is Anagrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. We'll have time for one more replay tonight. Let's see, that was the pit. That was our first one. Let's see. That's another good linked one. Let's do it. Greetings everyone, and Grade here of another Age of Empires 4 replay. So on the top left side as a Cyan English, we have a foreign name. So on the bottom right side as the Magenta Holy Roman Empire, we have GG Christ War. English versus Holy Roman Empire. Both of them have access to man-at-arms in Feudal Age. More so for the English player can get access in the Dark Age. Likely we will see longbowmen, and likely the best way for the Holy Roman Empire to deal with them is maybe just go for mass man-at-arms. Though longbowmen do hit harder than regular archers there. Going for the Aachen Chapel. This will provide a massive resource income. Providing a constant 40% income in this region is quite significant. But it's on the front line there, but he's trying to quickly clean up as much food as possible. So he may be eyeing for aggressive man-at-arms, since he's also collecting up a lot of gold as well. Maybe eyeing for fast castles, hard to tell sometimes. We've got Count's Hall being employed in the field. Aachen Chapel will be employed out very soon. We also have wheelbarrows and research as well. And this scout does advance him forward, does stab this villager a couple times. And now these forest puppers will be collected at a very, very rapid rate. He's also going for a lumber mill right there. Maybe eyeing for some research technology to go along with it. No, he should have enough resources for that. Sometimes a little bit of bug in the replays. Looks like the English player is collecting up a lot of stones. He's eyeing for a second town center. We got walls everywhere. The Holy Roman Empire player maybe eyeing going for fast castle at the current rate. Oh, got a single longbowman, gains a bit of damage on in. Town center will get some major retaliation damage. That does take him out quite easily. And he does have one more longbow on the build queue there. He does want the Aachen Chapel. He does want some of these palisade walls there. This one's not technically fully built, but he may be able to get by it, maybe not. We have a second prelate upon the field, inspiring these villagers to collect up gold faster. He's definitely eyeing for fast castle. House going on up. He still needs a bit more food. He's pretty good on gold at the moment. And we do have the second town center right there, trying to collect these forest puppers. Longbowman advancing forward, trying to get some more harassment on in. No scout for spotting. And there's a Regnig's Cathedral. These prelates, if he goes ahead and passes them out on the field, he may be able to quickly pick up a lot of relics. Trying to get out of stable as well. He may be eyeing for early night production. Not early night, but night production. Not necessarily horsemen. wheelbarrow now being researched as well. There's a good amount of forces here. And there is a single horseman on the field. Looks like that all these sheep there immediately retasked onto the deer now. Horseman chasing down that scout now. Prelate advancing forward. He's going to be eyeing to claim some of these relics. This relic could be claimed. That monk or prelate's heading up north. Longbone does get some damage there onto these horsemen. English player is still a little bit far away from going his own castle age. Now we do have multiple knights up on the field. This could be very, very problematic for Cyan, having all these knights roaming around at this point in time. You want to go for a little bit more heavy spearmen then? One relic has been claimed. This one's going to be harder to grab. This one should be easy to grab. This one is being grabbed, so I have a feeling that Magenta will probably get 4 out of 5 relics. Let's get some good damage on this horseman. Does take out a pair of horsemen there. Now all the horsemen dead, just leaving the knights and the scout. Now the King's House has been put on the field. That will give him access to an extra villager queue. Soon he will have 3 villager queues. His opponent's still on 1. He may be eyeing for the Palace of Swabia later on to get out some more villagers. Though he's still a bit far away in gold production, we do have this outpost going up. Maybe eyeing for a spring gold emplacement there. Knights are going to see a bit of damage there, but of course you can always use the prelates to heal them up, assuming he keeps them alive. Does lose a knight there. And the knights are, of course, a tier 3 unit. These spearmen only at age 2 units, so they get quickly overwhelmed by the quality of the knights. And that longbowman does get quickly impaled by the quality of the knights. King's Palace is almost complete. He has gone for a line of defensive palisade walls there. Now taking time to collect these berries as well. All the forest puppers have been cleaned on up. Of course, the Akin Chapel on the front line here. It'd be hard to protect your farms as you start pulling them around the Akin Chapel, so he's going to need to eye the Palace of Swabia or the other one defensive landmark in the front line. I forget that one's called. Let's get some good hits there on these spearmen. He's going for the man-at-arms upgrade for the Holy Roman Empire. Prelate down to 1 health. The scout can actually get the kill. Nope, Longman stole his kill. Both the horsemen, or the scout and the longbowman do go down. Got a good number of knights in the field. The English player won't be able to deploy out his own man-at-arms. Sure, he can get ironclad, but his opponent can deploy out blunted weapons, which will make his own man-at-arms hard to counter his opponents. And 200 weapons will basically negate the extra armor, so the English player won't be able to deploy out his man-at-arms anymore. He's going to have to rely on crossbows and probably his own knights, even though knight's not exactly a great item. Relic received quite a bit of damage there. That would be, he's picked up all 3 other relics. He could potentially claim all 3 relics, which is going to be significant. We do now have some men-at-arms being plotted by the Holy Roman Empire player. He does not have blacksmith on the field, no research. Nor does Sign apparently at the moment. Spearman charging forward, let's get some damage there on these spearmen. Knights. We do have some relics being placed inside these outposts now. Does going to throw them inside the Rignes Cathedral. It says all relics will generate plus 100% gold wall garrisons. Doesn't care if it's inside this cathedral or not. But right now, these relics will provide a massive reserve of gold. Or a tithe of gold, I should say. More farms being plotted by the English player. We also got a big line of farms here as well. It can be secured by a very tiny, narrow choke point here. It may be worth it to just go for a handful of a line of stone walls there just to make sure that area remains nice and secure.
Aggressive sword ahead.
This Schule is Dule May.
Sperre is Yara.
Spanner on the loaded.
You now have an outpost being pulled out right over here.
Den Held Sperre
Veteran Spearman research as well.
Yara for any foe.
Of course, they will not be able to hold a candle to the man at arms.
Soll mich überleben.
Wohin soll ich gehen? Gute Leistung, Mann.
Marschiere zum Sieger.
Bugefertiget. Schönes Bilde.
Science maintaining good village production. That's going to be his saving grace so far in this game. Our Magenta's almost reached Imperial Age resources. Has plenty of gold at the moment. Just need other resources. Food, I should say. Spearman advance around the flank. We'll spot the nothing around here except for the gate and walls. The English player's now on to click, push onto the map, trying to claim some gold deposits. And Magenta has claimed all 5 relics, which is a significant amount of relics. We got a good number of crossbows and spearmen here. He's ready to engage his opponent's force, whether it be knights or men-at-arms. Trying to fall back there. It's being upgraded some sprinkles there. He's been skipping on his military severely. I just want to try to torch down some of the stuff. He does have access to emergency repairs, so he can trade health for time. Man-at-arms charging forward to deal with these spearmen. Does get some good hits there. Got these arrows firing away as well. Needs emergency repair on this structure. Does not get emergency repairs active in that structure. Yep, and he is influenced as well. So that's a big oversight by him. That's getting Imperial Age now. And what landmark did he go for? Palace Swabia. Yep, now he has access to a very cheap, rapid producing villagers. 6 seconds train time, 17 food costs. It does produce 200% faster, 66% at less cost. Does have 200 weapons here, improving the damage of these man-at-arms. They don't get. He has got the blunt weapons just yet, since he's not fighting against any heavy just yet. There's actually a couple man-at-arms now mixed on in. Knights and man-at-arms pushing forward. We've got a lot of various arrow fire here, and we do have an outpost here upgraded with Spring Gold, and the relic does improve his damage output. So overall, the English force here is being ripped apart by these various defenses in this region. The other town center airs into a relic as well, improving its damage output. Magenta has a lot smaller army on the field, but his opponent has even he only has 3 man-at-arms, so 6 are prelate, which is not exactly a combat unit. But does hold back the line. Can't deal with all the defensive of the Holy Roman Empire. Does have good number of farms here, trying to use the Aachen Chapel effect. Sign does have twice the amount of villagers, but this can rapidly change with the Palace Swabia here, and soon Cyan will, of course, reach a good spot of not building more villagers. But also maintaining production as primary towns as well, so he basically has 4 villager queues.
Eine gut gemachte Arbeit. Eine gut gemachte Arbeit.
Für die nächste Aufgabe.
Magenta's also now going for collecting up some stone. He could go for a keep here. Cyan's going for a defensive keep instead of map. He's trying to secure the gold deposits. But let's pick that up. It's going to be thrown the outpost. It's going to upgrade the cannon placement there.
Was hast du nötig von mir?
Bereit für die nächste Aufgabe.
For another barracks there, trying to increase his production. He's actually a bit low on food, has plenty of gold at the moment. His black steed actually has no real resource at the moment. He does have +1 armor. I think that's from the prelate inspiration, isn't it? Yeah, he has all the prelate research there.
Bereit für die nächste Aufgabe.
Militaries get +15 damage and +1 armor.
Schöner Bau.
So he's inspired these men-at-arms a little bit.
Ich weiß, was ich tue. Wer ist der Rock?
Wart auf Geheiße und Ehre.
Wann können wir eine Pause machen?
Was hast du nötig von mir? Ja, bin bereit.
Sende mich vor.
Bereit für die nächste Aufgabe.
Of course, there's a lot of villagers over here, so needs to be inspired. He's doing a good job maintaining the inspiration on these villagers over here. We got a fortified tower here for the network of castles. Like both sides are smackering up. Cyan needs an eye going to the next age, because right now he's down in age. His opponent has not gone for elite military tactics.
Eine gut gemachte Arbeit.
Does get out Siege Workshop, could go for some more Mangonels.
Ich weiß, was ich tue.
He may be worried about Springle. He may want to get out some Springles as well in case opponent deploys also any sort of trebuchets. But currently not. Well, his opponent's not playing on trebuchets, but he is. I think Mangonels would be a better choice. Cyan's pulling out some stone walls around his opponent's base. He's trying to lock him in, prevent him from escaping out to the flanks. Unusual, but could be very effective. Horsemen now trying to hit these villagers. Or this villager, singular. Villager does go down, may want to cancel some of those stone walls. Does have this stone line of palisade walls there. Trebuchet now trying to hit the outpost there, which denies a network of castles. Magenta is rapidly evening out the village production. Right now his opponent is going for the Berkshire Castle as well. And due to his insane range, it should be able to help support the keep as well. Howdy. Trebuchet's outpost has been set ablaze by the Trebuchet. Now that will eliminate one more source of the network of castles. Berkshire Castle is almost complete. Oh, welcome to the stream then. We do now have the keep receiving a bit of fire there. Sacred Site has been captured up by Cyan there. Two of them has been captured up by Cyan, which does get a bit of extra gold. Got this nice little force here. I just feel like it's very vulnerable to a Mangonel shot. Imperial Academies, as well as more armor hack damage. I'm getting all my words mixed up now. Got Elite Horsemen now for the Holy Roman Empire player. Both players in Imperial Age. Villager count is similar, 130 to 94. Not really that similar, but the increased collection rate of the Aachen Chapel is really helping out, though the English now has an incredibly high collection rate on these farms, even more so, up to 30%. Largely evening out. Now we've got the big engagement coming on in. We do have these horsemen defensive forward, but the man-at-arms charging for as well. Does not have the blunt weapons there. Does got the keep there. Berkshire Castle now firing away. You could actually garrison the Berkshire Castle, get some more arrows firing at incredibly long range. Villagers going to be doing that. Man-at-arms now getting man-at-arms. And now Science claims all secret sites there, forcing Magenta to stay out in the field. It's going for blunt weapons now, so it's fighting against a lot of man-at-arms. Berkshire Castle has 18 garrisons there. Each extra arrow does have a attack speed of 2.5 per second. Nothing too significant. Or 2.62, I should say. Man-at-arms now pushing forward. Berkshire Castle now seeing some siege damage. Magenta's front line is overrunning Cyan's. Cyan has a good number of crossbows here to hit those opponents from man-at-arms. It's lacking other forces in the field. Magenta has a large force right now. Get some good hits there. Spear advancing forward, trying to get some other force there. Berkshire Castle still firing away, getting some damage across everything. But we're seeing a lot of damage from these trebuchets. So we're trying to stop these trebuchets, at least stop them from being in the area. So we're very quickly repair up the Berkshire Castle there. These villagers may want to get on the inside. We're going to lose some of these villagers there. Spear now moving around, trying to avoid these horsemen. Trebuchets being retasked with the Berkshire Castle. So good number of villagers there, 15. Spearmen have been overran. Does get the blunt weapons there. Bomb to do bonus damage to man-at-arms, so no longer a good idea to go out man-at-arms to engage the Holy Roman Empire man-at-arms. Better watching your stream than flat women trying to do ASMR. I don't even want to know where that even came from. Berkshire Castle gains some good damage on these horsemen. It will prevent them from stopping these villagers from getting repairs. There's 11 villagers remaining. You have now a keep going up here. Signs trying to pull out a mine next to this keep, which is probably not a good idea. The Berkshire Castle, being a landmark, only requires wood for repairs. So it is relatively cheap in repair costs, relatively to the rarity of stone, but still getting overran. Relic does go down there. Trying to use trebuchets, as volley of trebuchets will take up the Berkshire Castle. The Berkshire Castle has gone down. Signs of front line starting falling back. There's a good number of horsemen in the middle of all the spearmen. Don't know. Sign keeps saying to fight with those spearmen. Although Signs needs having trouble rebuilding his max out army. Vegeta has a smaller villager cap, so he's able to pull out field a larger army, but he right now has no wood income. Hopefully has Tide Farm. Sign trying to have more man-at-arms, not a good idea. Spearmen and crossbows probably should deploy out against all these man-at-arms and horsemen. Going for more siege workshops, more mangonels will probably just generally be a good idea as well. Crossbow trying to hold the line there. I think all the villagers are trying to repair this Berkshire Castle has gone down. Oh, we got a revolt queen now pull on the field, a relatively rare unit to see. Gets a good damage on these forces. He's getting repaired by some villagers as well, so there's some villagers in this region. Taking out some horsemen. Taking trebuchets annihilate the outpost there, and the Revoltman does go down. There's going to go to siege workshops. You may want to start regrouping his forces up here. Crossbows starting to get overran. The horsemen are looking at a low number, so they're able to pull back the line. Spearmen do a good job of holding back the man-at-arms. Man-at-arms and Spearmen basically do the same stall effect versus Holy Roman Empire man-at-arms. So it's probably better to go for Spearmen, which will allow them to hit the horsemen a little bit better, allowing also crossbows equal amount of time to gauge these man-at-arms. More of these horsemen charging forward. He needs more Spearmen to protect these crossbows. You could try mixing some hand-cannon here as well. They like to hit everything. Try to go for an outpost here. Could probably go for an outpost behind the walls. Berkshire Castle being torched down right away, which will stall out some of these forces there. We got some prelates in the front line for Magenta as well. Probably not a good spot for them. Outpost immediately goes down to 9 network citadels, or network castles, depending on what he has researched. Sign does have the Sacred Side victory still coming down, but right now it's slowly being decapitated down by the reinforcements, or stopped by the reinforcements. Crossbows falling back, trying to get some more damage to these horsemen. He does not have incendiary arrows just yet. Nor all of his blacksmith research, so getting more blacksmith research now, including the elite spearman research. Man-at-arms trying to batter down these spearmen. They're not going to be touching up the palisade wall, which means the crossbows can get more damage on in. Got the network castles now activated. Greatly increasing attack speed of these crossbows. He does have only network castles, not network citadels. Takes out the palisade gate there for trebuchets. A little bit overkill, but did the job. More of these keeps being put on the field, as well as trying to go for a mining camp. Maybe a little retaliate against that. It's about horseman range there. I hit these villagers there, but now the horsemen are going to be overrun these crossbows. More spearmen being put on the field, trying to hit these horsemen severely. Now since they're elite spearmen, they can do a bit better work at that. Still got a severe number of trebuchets here. 7's maybe too many. Starting to get some Lash next, which will be very effective for these spearmen. They do AoE damage and high damage. When they're fully kitted out, they do like 32 damage per sweep. Do cost quite a bit of gold there. Of course, it's quite a bit of gold on some of these maps. Science trying to rotate out to other gold deposits, and maybe need to get another lumber camp there to make sure it maintains its wood income. We'll need a lot of wood for the spearmen. Trying to go for 4 keep here. He's trying to creep forward for keeps. He could try pulling out 4 council to get urgent repairs as well. These archer ranges are going to be annihilated by those trebuchets. Magenda's not going for a keep here. He's going for fortified towers, some other research, and court architects, increasing the health of all of his buildings. Does he get? He has not gone in for the reinforced defenses, increasing the health of health powers and gates by 40%.
Sanu. Lustig for Hestes.
Science still has these walls up over here, so he has his opponent contained, sort of. If Zale pushes back opponent back here, it will really put a squeeze on him, preventing him to reach out to the gold deposits. All depends whether or not he can do that. Zion has things set up for the future, just a matter of whether or not if he can get to the future. Crossbows advancing forward. Much of this construction starting to go down these trebuchets. He has more builds at the moment, which means he has less small military. Man-Arms trying to hold the line, Spearmen as well. Man-Arms are seeing a lot of damage from these crossbows. He does have a network of citadels, or network of castles. No network of citadels just yet. Getting incendiary arrows will greatly help out his crossbows and other forces. Another Revolt Queen now blown on the field. Looks like he's having trouble firing. He's not currently firing. Let's get those man-at-arms that was hacking apart, but now it's going to be hacked apart entirely. No, he does save the Revolt Queen at the moment. Maybe a good idea just to generally aim movement forward, so it can hit anything in the front line at the moment. Is wounded, getting repaired upon some villagers, very nice. Now got a good wave of veterans on being blown by Cyan. He does not have any townsmen nearby these keeps to get some repairs. All crossbows been field. Spearman pulling back the horseman, very good. Revolt has been repaired up nearly entirely, down entirely. More Cyan's extra going down. Cyan's going to need to get rebuilt. He has a good amount of wound in reserve. More crossbows push way forward. Horsemen getting slowly whittled down. Having trouble with the man-at-arms and versus these spearmen. Got some Landsknechts here. More man-at-arms pushing way forward as well. See if can't click on a Landsknecht to see its current damage output. I don't see any more Landsknechts being built. Okay, he has 3 on the field, nothing on the field. Cyan's going for, or Magenta's trying to go for another keep here. Revolt Queen's still up and going. He needs more production in the back line. He has a bit of room over here, but not a whole lot of room left. He may need to build back here. More Revolt Queen's pushing forward. Does get all those cannon rams. Revolt Queen will find a very good volley there, taking out most of those horsemen. More banners pushing forward. Needs to hit that building construction keep. That's a little bit easier. More banners charging forward. Revolt Queen still ready to get out another volley. Now there's a single man-at-arms there. Crossbows still hitting these man-at-arms. One of the war the Landsknechts are at. He's on another Revolt Queen there. Or that was the same Revolt Queen. Man-at-arms trying to hit these villagers there. Yeah, more infantry does take the blacksmith. Get a handful of longbowmen outfield. They're just only regular longbowmen, not even better than longbowmen at the moment, so there may be a bit of oversight there. Horsemen push way forward as well. Landsknecht some of them are reaching on the front line. They're up to 32 damage. They have absurd damage output. Longbowmen will do bonus damage versus Landsknechts. Of course, it'll be hard to target down those individual Landsknechts in the middle of the group. There's a couple longbowmen, so it's probably not a good idea to try to focus it down. They can spend better elsewhere. Cyan's being pushed on back. Trying to hit this keep now with his own trebuchets, means he'll get damage onto it. Got some villagers back here idle. Horseman charging forward, overrun these trebuchets. Does take out those trebuchets. And Cyan does back of the game now. I think Magenta really got a grasp on the game thanks to the fact that he had less villagers, so he's able to deploy a larger military. This is Grade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. So I mentioned beforehand, that's going to be our last replay for tonight. I'm going to get some rest. Everyone, thank you for watching. Have a good evening, and get some